free if you want to have a chat to Buff or Chappelli during the dinner break. And I would say, gentlemen, that the Pakistanis already are heartily sick of the sight of David Warner and Marnus Labuschagne at the crease.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, they played brilliantly. That session was really good. It was the busy. The thing I love about Marnus Labuschagne and David Warner for that fact, but he's done that all the time in Australia. Marnus is busy cricketer at number 3, and that's what you want from your number 3. You want him to be able to take the game and move it forward all the time. Whether you're in trouble or not, you want him to actually progress the game and keep the game flowing, and he does that. I think David Warner really enjoys it because he gets strike. You know, David Warner's one of those players that loves to have the strike, and Marnus also loves to have the strike, but he loves getting off strike, and he's played very well tonight. They both have. Pakistan again went defensive too early. They bowled their leg spinner too late. Both batsmen in, they were always going to take the leg spinner on and put them under some pressure. Those late runs are very handy leading into a night session where, you know, as I said before, you average about 5 wickets a night session, and it's going to be an extended night session, this one, because of the extra play. So for me, it's a dangerous time for the Australian team, but more so Pakistan. If they don't get wickets in the session and somehow don't get them to 6 or 7 down tonight, then all of a sudden you've got real problems come tomorrow, because they're batting in the best part of the day, and Pakistan will be batting the hardest time against, you know, the 3 great, well, very good fast bowlers. I won't say great yet. I think they'll end up great, and Nathan Lyon, and they'll just dominate the Pakistan team. They were very poor in the field, a bit sloppy. I haven't got too many positives actually, Ian. Have you?
No, they're in big trouble, Pakistan, and by the end of that session they were looking pretty desolate. They, you know, the captain, I think he runs out of ideas pretty quickly, and and the other thing is that there's just not much great support for Shaheen Afridi, who's bowled very well, but the other quickies have been disappointing. And I'm not just talking Adelaide, the same in Brisbane. He didn't get much support up there, so it's really hard to see where they're going to get back into the game. And the other thing that is really, you know, I'm just watching. Okay, you've coached an international side. We've got Pakistan guys out here, a few of the spares obviously. Some fielding coach, I don't know who it is, and I wonder how much he knows about fielding. He's throwing balls to a guy, he's throwing them on his left hip, and he's got him catching right-handed. They're only obviously allowed to catch one-handed, and he's thrown it on the left hip. Now, I never ever, I mean, I spent, well, the first half of my life practicing and catching in games. And, my father did a lot of the teaching in the early days. I never, ever practiced catching a ball one-handed. I mean, you took some catches one-handed because you couldn't get to them with 2. I mean, but why would you be trying to catch a ball in a game? I mean, my theory is always, if you're practicing things that you're going to do in a game, not, you know, what he's doing. He's throwing the ball at his left hip, and he's got him catching him right-handed. I mean, it's nonsensical.
It's very strange, yeah, I must say.
No, it's nonsensical.
Yeah. And the other thing I hate about it is, why are they doing it out in the middle of the oval? I mean, you've got perfect facilities out the back there, and they're allowed to be used at night. These drills they should be doing out the back of, you know, on the back of the nets. There's plenty of fielding area there. If they're doing these for simple drills, I don't know, and the bloke's moving back by about 50 centimetres each time and still catching it one hand. Now, there's obviously some reason, but I won't know. I didn't like.
Well, to be fair, I'm wondering, is it Imran Khan, in fact, that's doing the? But he's got his right hand fairly heavily bandaged.
No. But the other bloke did it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Kashif Bhatti.
Yeah, Ian's right. So I used to, not as a coach, I used to say to the fielding coach, and it was Brad Haddon at the time, I said, Hads, don't do it on the ground in front of the people. If we can find a spot out the back.
That's for show. That's all that is.
We had a rule, catch hard. So getting your 2 hands, but catching hard ones. So if you're doing slippers, do proper knickers. You know, throw it hard. You know, make sure it's quality. And those ones at the moment are probably not as quality as you would think. And in that, well, they're not. I'm trying to be nice there.
Total rubbish. I mean, the guy'd be better off going to the British across the road and having 3 schooners. He'd do as much good.
Well, at least it'd be cold schooners.
Yeah, there'd be good schooners at the British as well. Yeah, but I mean, that is you're saying, why isn't he doing it out the back? That's justification for the job, So the fielding coach is showing everybody, look, I'm doing my job. Well, mate, you're not doing your job. That's total rubbish. You're not teaching those players anything at all. No, not teaching them anything that's going to be worthwhile to them in a game.
And always catch two hands. For our listeners, our young kids out there, both boys and girls, you'll naturally get one hand to it if you have to. But you want to be trying to catch two hands all the time. Every single drill you do, that's how you become a better catcher. And volume.
If this continues the way the start of this test match has begun after winning in 4 days in Brisbane. We're only 2 sessions into the test match, but Australia already on top, although as they say, don't judge a wicket in a match until both sides have had a hit. But as we look ahead, is this going to be, what sort of preparation is this going to be? And I know you can only beat the opposition that's put in front of you, but for what we expect to be a really hard, closely fought 3-match series against New Zealand following right on the back of this, you wouldn't think this is ideal preparation given the quality of opposition that the Pakistanis have thrown up to date.
Well, if New Zealand were playing a day-night test match, I think it'd be obviously a lot closer. I mean, New Zealand ranks second in the world. The only thing I do say, and they've got some quality bowlers, if Kane Williamson doesn't have a good series, they might struggle with the bat. That's where I see them struggling. I mean, Kane Williams is one of the best 3 in the world, 4 in the world, if you like. And he bats at 3, he controls the innings for them, played very well last series out here. If he doesn't get runs and they control him, Australia will still win. I think they'll win comfortably if they control Williamson. If they don't, and New Zealand can get a score on the board, their bowling attack can trouble Australia. And they've got a day-nighter in Perth, isn't it, first up as well? It's a
Marnus Labuschagne when he played in Sydney, for instance, when he started out, and then what I saw in England, I thought there was quite a bit of improvement from Sydney to England, and now what I'm seeing here, I think is an improvement again on what we saw in England, which tells you that you've got a thoughtful cricketer as well as a good cricketer. And I love the intent that he shows at number 3, the running between wickets with Warner, very, very aggressive. So he's doing everything that you would want from a number 3. And I go back to the original thing in Sydney where apparently I can't remember
shot, but he's been busy with his ones. So David Warner himself said, we can run Pakistan off our feet here. If they're bowling well and we get in the gap, we can still get one. So that's the pleasing thing, because you want your number 3 to come in. I mean, Ricky Ponting, in my time, I watched, obviously, Ian Chappell play a lot, and he did the same. He was busy. Ian was, they'll say, he played all the shots, but he was a busy cricketer, Ian Chappell. Marnus Labuschagne is a busy cricketer. Ricky Ponting was a busy cricketer. And when they're at 3, they can change your game so quickly by being that. And all of a sudden they had the partnerships. There are 100 partnerships already. They get it flying.
Well, just on that, before Chappelli has another go, this is just the 4th time that Warner and Labuschagne have batted together in tests, and it's their 3rd century partnership. Incredible strike rate, 111, 11, 129, and now 131 unbroken. In
my opinion, you've got 2 types of number 3. And I'll use Australian players as an example. The ideal number 3 is Ricky Ponting, because he could come in, if you lost an early wicket, he could come in and he had a good enough technique that he could survive for a little bit, but then he could go on and really take charge of the game and make a big score. Or he could even come in at 1 for not many and take charge immediately, because he was good enough to do that. The other, if you haven't got the Ricky Ponting type, then you look for a David Boon type, who David Boon was a good, solid player. If you lost an early wicket, David could come in and make sure that you didn't lose too quickly.
Drop anchor.
Yeah, and he would just steadily, he was better than a steady player, but he could just steadily accumulate the runs and eventually wear down the opposition. And if you've got stroke makers like Mark Waugh coming in behind him at number 4, then you had Gilchrist, or probably not so much in Booney's time, but Australia's always had aggressive guys, in the middle order. David Boon was terrific for those guys, made it easier for them. They'd come in and just pick off the opposition. So that's the ideal. My first choice number 3 is the Ricky Ponting type. If I haven't got that, then I'm looking for a David Boon type.
I think you summed it up perfectly. What more can you add? I mean, number 3, you've seen enough of them, and I think Marnus is going to find his way. I mean, he wanted it. The thing I love, as you said just before, Ian, he wanted to bat 3. You've got to want to bat 3, and that's the first port of call. Steve Smith, obviously, and Justin and Tim Paine, as captain, said, well, we're going to bat 4. And I think the interesting thing, Marnus, the great thing about him at 3, because Steve Smith batted 3 a couple of times in the Subcontinent Test Series, I think you'll find Marnus Labuschagne, who plays spin very well, will end up being 3 for the whole time now.
Well, that's, I mean, that was the problem with Khawaja. He was number 3 in Australia and had a good record. But then when you went overseas, Khawaja was dropped half the time, or more than half the time. Now, you can't have that. Your number 3's got to be your number 3 wherever you go. And as you say, he's a good player of spin bowling, so there's no problem for him when he goes to the subcontinent. We saw him get runs in England batting at number 3 after he replaced Steve Smith. So, he's ideal. And, he's taken Khawaja out of the equation now.
We will take a break. Rain interrupted first day here in Adelaide. Just the 40 overs bowled so far. The shortened second session, we had 18 overs bowled. Australia didn't lose a wicket, and they added 69 runs after tea was taken 5 minutes early after the first session, with Australia 1 for 70 from 22. Remembering tea is the first break and dinner the second break in these day-night matches. So 1 for 139 after 40 overs at dinner. Warner on 72, Labuschagne on 60. The man out, Joe Burns, in the 4th over of the match, caught behind by Mohammad Rizwan of Shaheen, Shah, Afridi for 4. The wicket fell at 8. So a partnership of 131 unbroken between Warner and Labuschagne. We will take a break. Just before we do, a message from our friends at Finstro. And if your small business needs to manage cash flow, you need Finstro. Finstro's flexible business line of credit gives your business access to the funds you need when you need it most, and you won't pay for it when you don't. Whether it's buying stock, paying wages and rent, or marketing your business to help it grow, Finstro is the smart finance solution. Finstro's simple and flexible line of credit ranges ranges from $10,000 to over $300,000. And if you take out a line of credit in time for the busy Christmas period, you'll make no repayments until January 2020. Terms and conditions apply. The simple online application takes less than 10 minutes and you could have approval in just a few hours. To get started, visit finstro.com.au. That's FISTRO.com.au. A break from the Adelaide Oval, and it is the dinner break with thanks to Breakout River Meats. Australia won for 139. 13 12 83 is our cricket open line number if you've got a question for Buff or Chappelli, and you're listening to Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket.
For things that matter, you want the right team on your side. Westpac Home Insurance can help get you back on track when the unexpected happens. Search Westpac Home Insurance, proud partner of Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket.
99 Bikes 99-hour sale is on now. Up to 30% off selected bikes, up to half price off selected accessories, up to 40% off shoes and more. Black Friday has arrived at 99 Bikes for 99 hours only. 99bikes.com.au.
The Great Wall Steed Stampede is now on. Round up a petrol dual cab or the diesel single cab with a free trade from only $19,990. That's right, a dual cab or diesel single cab from only $19,990 drive away. And we'll throw in a huge 5-year warranty. But hurry, the Steed Stampede is going fast. So get into your Great Wall dealer now. Great Wall, it's built to work. See greatwallmotors.com.au for T's and C's. Yeah!
No one likes an incomplete job, so why do one when hiring? When looking for the best candidates, make sure you're not missing any opportunities. On Indeed, it's free to post, so you've got nothing to lose, and you could find the perfect candidate for your business. No hiring search is complete without Indeed. Post jobs free on Indeed.com/free. Terms, conditions, quality standards and usage limits apply.
This Movember, here's to the straggly moustaches. The lopsided ones. The itchy, ratty, ferrety ones. The ones. The, hey, I look good with this ones. The absolutely filthy ones. The black, blonde, red and grey ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. All moustaches raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations and save lives. Because whatever you grow, will save a bro. Donate now at Movember.com.
Sometimes you need a little help to break a bad habit. And there are people near you to lend a hand. They're called butchers. If you've fallen into the bad habit of buying pre-packaged meat from a supermarket, stop. Head to a butcher and ask for Watervale beef by Breakout River Meats. Premium grass and grain-fed, Watervale beef is the most delicious beef you'll ever taste. One bite and you'll be cured. Watervale beef by Breakout River Meats, only available from your local butcher.
Black Friday and Cyber Monday are big days for big deals, and one of the best buys right now is a Spinalese pillow. Until midnight Monday, the best pillow you can buy comes with the best deal you can get, starting with a 20% discount. But that's not all. Your new Spinalese pillow also includes a free pillowcase and free delivery, and you get a 2-year warranty. That's a huge deal. If you have a neck pain, headaches or a snoring problem like myself and Mark Taylor, and it's a problem, you should be sleeping on a Spinalese pillow. And if you buy it online right now, you'll save 20%. Ordering is easy. Just go to spinaleze.com.au. Don't miss the deal. 20% discount, free pillowcase, free delivery and a 2-year warranty. T's and C's apply. Order your Spinalese pillow right now. spinaleze.com.au.
Hi, this is Matt Renshaw.
He's thinking of taking on the fielder to go for the 2. He gets back and he's got his done.
You're listening to Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket.
And we appreciate your company on this Friday evening from the Adelaide Oval. It's just ticked past 8 o'clock local time. Darren Lehman making a good fist of trying to elbow Ian Chappell out of the way as the main ambassador for our great friends at Spinalese. Again, attaching themselves in a terrific partnership with Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer summer of cricket. Of course, they bring us the replay thanks to Spinalese, the pillow that supports a sore neck. And Chappelli, you travel with your Spinalese pillow wherever we're broadcasting from around the country.
Yep, I've got it here in Adelaide, and I'm thinking seriously about your statement, Beaver. I might bring it to the ground if we're going to keep finishing at 10:30.
We those that have joined us late with the rain delays so far today, time-wise, we've lost about 2.25 hours. We won't get through the full 90 overs tonight. 73 has been set down by authorities to get to the end of play, as long as there's no more rain. And I must say, at the moment, we've probably got the best conditions of the day. At the moment, the skies are the lightest they've been. Well, it's a lovely twilight now, and the floodlights are in full effect. It's a reasonable evening. I won't go any further north than reasonable evening, but given some of the rubbish that was served up earlier today, and unfortunately the forecast, while it looks okay tomorrow, Sunday we could have quite a few interruptions, and Monday also doesn't look great. But at dinner, after 2 sessions, 40 overs bowled, Tim Paine winning the toss and batting, Australia 1 for 139. We'll quickly go around the grounds as Mark Taylor rejoins us. Stumps a long time ago over in New Zealand. A rain shortened first day in the second test there between New Zealand and England. New Zealand 3 for 173 in the 55th over. Sent into bat by Joe Root. Tom Latham unbeaten on 101. It's all over in the test match between Afghanistan and the West Indies. The West Indies winning by 9 wickets. Their victory target of 31 in the second innings easily achieved. They lost the 1 wicket, 1 for 33, the Windies. So a win there for the men from the Caribbean. But the Stump scores, well, Stump scores in 2 of the 3 matches in the new round of the Sheffield Shield. Remembering the game in Perth still going at the Wacker between WA and SA. But Stumps down in Hobart, 14 wickets falling on the opening day. Tasmania bowled out for 107. In reply, Queensland almost with their noses in front, 4 for 98. New South Wales, Victoria. Victoria sent their great rivals in. New South Wales at Stumps, 6 for 223. That match at the MCG. And WA batting first against South Australia, 5 for 271. And they're about 5, maybe 6 overs away from Stumps over there in Perth. As we welcome Mark Taylor. In fact, we won't welcome him back because he's chowing down on a muffin, Pelly. Is that one of those healthy muffins? Or?
Yeah, low cholesterol, low sugar, low everything. That's what I tell my wife, who's probably listening at the moment. Yeah, so I was just trying to find out the scores from that game you talked about in WA, because they were in a bit of trouble there, Western Australia. 5 for 277 now, you say. Who got the runs? Oh, Cameron Green, 83 not out in that game, playing as a batsman, and Marcus Stoinis run out for 79. So a good recovery that. They were 4 for about 100 in that game, so that's just a good recovery.
You missed a treat in the...
Hang on, Chappelli, maybe microphone on.
You missed a treat in the dinner break, Mark. You're a slip fielder. Mm-hmm. We've had the fielding coach for Pakistan had the couple of the spare players out here. Now, can you explain this to me? He's got him catching one-handed for a start, which I spent the first half of my life catching balls and never practiced catching one hand ever in my life. You?
No.
Okay. No. But then to make it worse, and then he starts throwing balls at the guy's left hip, and he's got him catching it with the right hand. And then he's throwing balls at the right hip and got him catching left hand. I mean, if you're going to practice something that's going to happen in a match, please.
That would be of some mirth if you saw them come out at first slip and actually try to catch one that way. Imagine if you're the bowler and you've got an edge and you saw your keeper going with the wrong hand on his left hip with his right hand. Yeah. You'd be real happy with that to see it go down, wouldn't you?
But it's just, I just... Look, there's one simple mistake that slip fielders make and around the world, and you've got fielding coaches in every team, and it doesn't get corrected. So I wonder how much the fielding coaches know about slip fielding. I think in some cases it's very little, and that I don't know who that bloke is, but I mean, if that guy, the Pakistan guy, I'm going to say, mate, if you're going to bring me out here, we're going to do something that is meaningful, not a load of total rubbish.
Well, I think you and I have chatted about this before, mate, obviously a lot of times off air, about fielding coaches in general. A lot of fielding coaches are throwing coaches, and they teach you to run X amount of distance, pick up the ball and throw the ball back in, which is a skill to learn and to practice. But it actually doesn't win you too many games, particularly in test matches. As we say, and it's been around for 100 years, catches win you matches. And it is so true that there's not enough fielding coaches around probably world cricket that actually teach good catching, and particularly good slips catching. And I've often said it, I've been out of the game now for 20 years or 21st year, I can't think, but I honestly don't believe, I think it's the only area I haven't seen the game improve is the slips catching over the last 20 years, and that probably makes me sound like one of these grumpy old men, but that's not the case. Slips catching is not taught like it used to. Yes, it is a skill that you learn at a very young age, but it also helps if the coaches that you have, as you get to grade, shield, test level, are actually good catchers. And I was very lucky with Bob Simpson, who was the New South Wales coach when I came into the New South Wales side. Yes, I was already a first slipper, but Bob Simpson said, okay, where do you field? I said, I slip. He goes, right, you're with me every session. And I worked with Bob for years, along with Mark Waugh, Steve Waugh, then Shane Warne came in, and we actually worked on our slips catching all the time, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and that's why we got better at it. I don't think that happens very much these days.
So as two of the great slippers that this country has had, how often would your counsel have been sought for you, Mark, in the last 20 years, Chappelli over the last 40 years, by emerging young players who see their fielding position to be in the cordon?
Never.
Not once has a player come and... Right?
Well, I was asked, I spoke to Brad Haddon, who was the fielding coach during the Ashes series, and I'd noticed a couple of things at Lords which concerned me a little bit about Australia's slips positioning, particularly off Nathan Lyon, the spinner. And I did go when at Headingley about 2 days before the Test match and did a quick session with the slippers, which was great, but it was one session. I think and it was interesting that particularly people like Usman Khawaja was very interested. I spent a bit of time with Usman because he wanted to learn, but Uzi's now 32, 33. His better catching days are probably already past him. So, A, that's the first problem, and then B is that when you tell cricketers, whether they're young or old, what you would do and how you did it, are they going to then work at it on a daily basis? And I don't think they do. I tend to think I'm sure they take it all in what you say, but within a week, with the gym sessions, the running sessions, the net sessions, and every other session that they have, I think that catching goes out the door very, very quickly, and yet it is an absolute vital part of this game of Test cricket.
I probably should correct that. 1985, David Boone had been... they were trying to make him into a slipper, and he was fielding at first slip for 85 would have been... Dutchie Holland, I reckon, was the leg spinner.
That's probably about right.
Yeah,
yep.
Dutchie, and David was fielding very fine, and I happened to be staying at the same hotel, and I said, Booney, you've got to be at 45 for the leg spinner. Oh, are you sure? And I said, mate, I'm here to tell you. Anyhow, he went to 45, and I reckon very early the next day he caught one there, and he turned around to me and gave me the thumbs up. So that would be the extent of advice I've given to Australian slip fielders, and it wasn't long after that they moved David Boone out of the slips and put him at bat pad.
Yeah, we all kicked him out. when I came on and said Mark Waugh was not long after me into the Test side, we were always very keen to get, because I absolutely loved it, and I'm sure you were the same, Chappelli. It is one of those real hero-villain positions. Yes, you drop them and you feel really bad, but there's so many times if you work at it, you take a catch that makes a big difference in the game, and it has a huge impact. I was telling a story the other day about dropping Salim Malik on 20. He made 237. That's the sort of runs that you can cost your team, but at the same time, no one ever remembers that. Well, they remember the catch you might have taken, but you don't know what that batsman would have scored had you not caught him. That's a stat that obviously you can't do, but it's a very important part of Test match cricket. You hang on to the catches, the ones you should hang on to, and if you can make the odd one as well that other fieldsmen wouldn't get, then that's a huge bonus to your side.
And you cost us a lifetime of Damien Fleming hat-trick stories as well.
True.
Way back then. Okay, final session, 33 overs to be bowled, is about to get underway. Shaheen, Shah, Afridi at the River Torrens end, bowling left arm over to David Warner. First ball after the resumption, and there's runs. It's a thick outside edge as Warner was driving square of the wicket and a race down to wide third man for 4. So a perfect start for the Australians if it wasn't the perfect stroke. A boundary, 1 for 143, and Warner to 76, and that's the 11th time in this innings he has found the rope.
I'm going to be interested to see who Azhar starts with at the other end. On the form shown by the other seam bowlers, I'd say it's probably worthwhile going straight to Yasir Shah. When they bowled him earlier, terrible field and with both batsmen on top. So get him on when the batsmen are starting again.
Afridi in again, and Warner back and across is defending quietly way out to cover. There's no run.
And the other thing that might be in his favour is Shaheen, Shah Afridi, has been the best of the seamers. If he's bowling well, there was a period up at the Gabba where Afridi and Yasir bowled in tandem and bowled really well. I think if Pakistan are to get back into this game, it's probably got to be Yasir at the other end.
Afridi into his 12th over. 4 maidens, 1 for 27. 2 slips and a gully in place. Afridi wide on the crease. Warner forward. Not really a drive, more a punch down to mid-off to the skipper, Azhar, and again it's a dot ball.
And we'll be interested to see what this ball does, if anything, in this night session. We're just about totally under lights here, as you can imagine. It's 8:13 local time. As you said a moment ago, Bruce, it's probably as good as the weather has been all day, but it's fairly cool. I don't know if it'll swing much, and that doesn't go well for Pakistan, who really need to win this session.
Afridi uncoils again. Warner covers up in defence again, just pokes it out to cover, and again no run.
The one thing in Australia's favour, Tim Paine won the toss wanting to bat in the daylight, and virtually he's been batting under cloud cover the whole time with the lights on for a fair bit of it. But the good thing, because there was a bit of a delay, now this last session is you've taken out that twilight time, and it's probably, for batting at night, it's probably as good a light as you can hope for.
It's currently 14 degrees here in Adelaide. Lovely pink hue to the night sky. A little short mid-wicket comes in now as Warner again is across his stumps, right in behind it and defending back down the line to the bowler from the next delivery.
The problem is that short mid-wickets come from second slip.
I was going to say the same thing. I can't believe that. It's not first over after a long break and you're bowling at night. You've got to have 2 slips. But Azhar Ali's gone for 3 on the off and 3 on the on, saving 1. And just a slip in the gully.
And it's not Yasir Shah warming up either. Who's that at mid-wicket?
Warner on 76. Afridi bowls over pitches. Lovely clip off the toes from Warner, straight to the man at short mid-wicket in Iftikhar Ahmed. There's no run. In fact, it looks like Iftikhar might be bowling himself as he whips his cap off. End of the over. Chappelli's got his head in his hands. KO scoreboard. It's 1 for 143.
This December, the President's Cup returns to the Royal Melbourne Golf Club, where playing Captain Tiger Woods leads the United States side, featuring PGA Tour stars Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, and Matt Kuchar. Captain Ernie Els' international team is led by local heroes Mark Leishman and Adam Scott, along with international stalwarts Louis Oosthuizen and Hideki Matsuyama. Support the hometown boys and witness this showcase of thrilling competition and national pride, 9 through 15 December. Tickets at presidentscup.com.
Well, it is going to be off spin. Iftikhar Ahmed. I wonder whether they had the theory whoever fields the final delivery of the previous over, they get to have a bowl. He's in with his part-time off spin, and Marnus Labuschagne rocks back and punches firmly down towards mid-on, but there's no run.
Well, he was warming up a couple of balls before the end of the over, so he'd obviously been told that he was going to be on before. So, gee whiz.
There's a slip and a short leg from the cathedral end over the wicket, and on the back foot, Labuschagne whips it round the corner. They take one. The man from slip actually does the fielding in Asad Shafiq and keeps it to just a single.
We're still in November, aren't we? It's not December the 25th, is it? I tell you what, I bet Marnus Labuschagne thinks it is. Rock me array.
Labuschagne to 61, and it's one for 144.
Christmas comes but twice a year.
You could add that David Warner to that list. He must be thinking 76 not out. He would have thought that Pakistan would be coming out with their best two bowlers here.
There's 3 men out in the deep. Iftikhar changes to round the wicket, drops a little short. Warner chops away. The fieldsman in the deep's lost it. It'll go for 4. That's Shaheen, Shah, Afridi fielding out in front of the Sir Donald Bradman pavilion. He started moving to his right from that deep cover point position. The ball was going to his left.
By about 5 metres.
Yeah. Well, to be fair to him, there's no doubt at night this pick ball can be harder to see, particularly in the deep. Not so bad when you're batting and you've got a sight screen. When you square the wicket, not always easy.
Warner to 80. He's forward to the next delivery and dabbing back to the bowler.
Well, I think if you're going to start with a spinner after that dinner break, it had to be Yasir Shah. I find this quite extraordinary that you'd have your fifth bowler as your first bowler after the break.
Iftikhar in again. Warner turns it round the corner. Another easy single. A short leg in Shan Masood has to give chase, and even more so the fact that Yasir Shah, he only bowled 4 overs so far for the day.
What's more, he's not even bowling off breaks. He's bowling those one finger straight oners. Well, the last couple have been anyhow.
Labuschagne settles over the blade. Iftikhar in. Labuschagne driving. I don't think it was meant to go behind point. A thick outside edge to the man who Mark Taylor and Ian Chappell believe should be bowling. Yasir Shah does the fielding. End of the over on the KO scoreboard. And Australia galloping along 1 for 149.
Calling all passengers flying interstate or overseas, Airport Link, Sydney's airport train, is now ready for boarding.
There's an easier way to and from the airport. Catch Airport Link, Sydney's airport train. Only 15 minutes from the city to the airport passenger terminals. Find out why over 9 million people a year beat the traffic by catching Airport Link, Sydney's airport train. Airport Link, the easy way to get to and from Sydney Airport. Start your flight on the train. Visit airportlink.com.au.
Shaheen Shah Afridi from the River Torrens end. Over the wicket he comes. Warner drives square of the wicket. Long chase for the fielders. There's 2 of them giving chase. Relayed throw. They've taken 2 and they'll settle for 2. Yasir Shah threw it in after it had been flicked back by Imam-ul-Haq, and it brings up the Australian 150. 151 for 1. And Warner moves to 83.
Well, that wasn't a bad delivery from Shaheen Afridi there, but it didn't do a lot. It was speared in. It was a good length. It was just outside off. It wasn't a half volley. David Warner, even though he didn't quite get to the pitch, was able to push the hands through the ball and find the gap between point and cover. That's a worrying sign for Pakistan. That ball's not doing a lot.
Run rate now pushing up to 3.6 per over. Afridi in again full and straight. Warner takes it away on the onside, but picks out Iftikhar at short mid-wicket, and there is no run.
The other thing about bowling Iftikhar Ahmed at the scoreboard end, it's basically no support for Shaheen Afridi, who's been far and away the best quickie. Give him something at the other end that's troubling the batsman, and that's going to increase his chances of getting a wicket.
A slip, a gully, and a short mid-wicket. The attacking fielders for the young left armour. He's in once more. Warner has to cover up in defence once more. Nudges it again to Iftikhar at short mid-wicket.
Once again looking very sharp straight after the break, David Warner. a lovely two to start the over with that push I talked about through sort of cover point. And then the last couple of balls have been good ones from Shaheen Afridi. Speared in around that off stump. They're asking questions. Warner's tucked up nicely in defence. Looks very solid around that line, which was his nemesis in that Ashes series recently.
Shaheen Shah Afridi once more, and again Warner has to defend grimly, just dead batting it away a metre or two back down the pitch.
If Shaheen Afridi finishes this over the way he's bowled the last three balls, it's a really good over. He's put some pressure on Warner. Then you want a good follow-up from the other end. I'm not sure they're going to get it.
It's been one of the real positives for the tourists on this short tour. Afridi once more, right up in the block hole. Warner chisels it out, and he will pick up a single as he guided it between point and cover. Moves to 84, and it's one for 152. Afridi, one of the big pluses of the tour.
Yeah, well, as I was saying earlier, you've got Shaheen Afridi, 19 years old. You've got Mohammad Musa on debut, 19 years of old. They've got Naseem Shah, who debuted last test, who's 16 years old. They've got a very inexperienced bowling attack, and that was always going to be a bit of a problem for them. And it's no doubt it's showing that under these conditions it's not easy to keep Australia under wraps when they've got pace on the ball. And that's one thing they will all learn, I'm sure, from this series. But Afridi's been the pick, no doubt.
Changes to round the wicket for the last ball of the over to Labuschagne, who leaves the ball angled back in at the stumps, but still missing off peg by a considerable margin. KO scoreboard. KO stream over 50 sports live and on demand. It's one for 152.
Share the joy this Christmas at Harvey Norman. Come in store this weekend, say hi to Santa, and get a free 6x4 photo. Plus, buy a Santa photo pack from just $15, and you could win one of 8 P&O family cruises valued at $4,500. Conditions and permit numbers apply. Limit 1 free print per family. Check local store for appearance times. From our family to yours, a free photo with Santa. We will take your family photo with Santa for free this weekend at Harvey Norman.
Iftikhar Ahmed was one test wicket to his name, bowling right arm off spin round the wicket to David Warner, who rocks onto the back foot and carves it out through the covers. Yasir Shah now is fielding out there, sweeping on that cover or cover point boundary. They take a single, one for 153.
Yeah, interesting to note that was Yasir Shah fielding out there now. Shaheen Shah Afridi's been moved from that position after he went the wrong way last over. It's probably not a bad thing either when you're the quick bowling at the other end, you've got an off spinner. You don't want to be in a key fielding position.
3 out in the deep on the leg side for Labuschagne, who stays leg side of the delivery and cuts it out through point. They've taken 2 in the slippery turf. There's a slide by Afridi, and he actually slid about 6 metres past the ball, which means he stopped the ball but kept on sliding and allowed them to get back for a third.
Yes, Shaheen Shah Afridi can't get out of the play at the moment. That was him now on the offside for Labuschagne. He can't avoid the ball at the moment. It seems to be following him.
He almost hit the rope.
God, that's a horrible field that he had for Labuschagne. That onside field.
There was a long on, a cow corner, and a deep backward square. Into Warner now, Iftikhar from round the wicket. Warner drives out through the covers again. Just the single as Yasir Shah does the fielding and almost threw down the stumps at the non-striker's end. Not that Warner was out of his ground.
Well, this is the same problem they had in the Gabba test match. They're now just leaking singles every ball and they're still giving up the odd boundary. The scoreboard's just ticking over. 1 for 157 already. They've raced away.
18 runs added since the dinner break. There's more runs here as Labuschagne tugs it out all the way along the turf into the deep mid-wicket area, and they're back for 2 despite the best efforts of Yasir Shah. And as Mark Taylor just told you, this scoreboard is ticking over at a rapid rate in the first quarter of an hour after the dinner break, and in fact that brings up the 150 partnership, that brace. 151 from 244 deliveries, and Australia now 1 for 159. All those numbers with thanks to Bingle.
This is senseless cricket. Absolutely senseless.
2 balls remaining in Iftikhar's over. And Labuschagne is forward and dabbing gently back down the pitch.
I mean, at times like this, you'd love to stop the game and just say to the captain, "Okay, mate, what's going on here? What are you doing?"
Coach's timeout. Commentator's timeout. As Labuschagne on the back foot punches down to mid-off, the last ball of the over. And there is no run. Darren Berry about to rejoin you. And he'll be rejoining Mark Taylor and Ian Chappell. KO scoreboard. Australia 1 for 159.
The Great Wall Steed Stampede is now on. Round up a petrol dual cab or the diesel single cab with a free tray from only $19,990. That's right, a petrol dual cab or diesel single cab from only $19,990 drive away. And we'll throw in a huge 5-year warranty. But hurry, the Steed Stampede is going fast. So get into your Great Wall dealer now. Great Wall, it's built to work. See greatwallmotors.com.au for T's and C's. Yeah!
1 for 159. Australia continue to motor along. Shaheen Afridi, the left armour, is short. Warner plays into the offside, no run. It's just sitting in the back of the box, and some frustrating tactics at the moment, if you can even call them tactics, from the Pakistan team. They're very reactive. There's nothing proactive about their cricket at the moment, and it's really hard to watch as a lover of the game to think that they're not putting any pressure on the fields they're employing, and you've heard Mark Taylor and Ian Chappell talk about it as well. This boy's tried extremely hard and bowled beautifully, but he's operating with one slip and a ring field. He's in again, it's full. Warner pierces, no, he doesn't pierce the leg side gap. He hits the man at square leg, no run.
Well, David Warner, probably scarcely believe he's lucky. He's on 86 not out. And as you say, Darren, he's got very little pressure on him here. Batting under lights with a pink ball, and we've said a number of times, that can be awkward. As I said, it's not doing much. And as I speak, they now push square leg back. So there's a deep fine leg, a deep square leg, and just a slip and a gully.
The left armour from the River Torrens end is in. Full pitch delivery. Warner easy runs into the leg side. They've got one. They're thinking about two. There's confusion. Could be a run out. The ball went to the wrong end. I tell you what, Labuschagne came for the second. Warner turned his back. And if the fieldsman was aware and got it to the keeper's end, we could have had a run out. Unfortunately, the mix-up wasn't just between the batsmen. The throw that came in went to the bowler's end, and there was no danger in the end.
And if we'd had a fielder where he was originally at square leg, there would have been no run.
Yes, that's the hard part to fathom at the moment. So right-hander now on strike after that single. Labuschagne on 66. Around the wicket, Shaheen Afridi, beautifully pitched delivery. Hard not to be impressed with this young man's efforts today, but hasn't been supported too well by his captain and some of the field placements for him. He beats the outside edge again of a man on 66.
Well, it's going to happen, and it'll happen in Brisbane, where you bowl the odd good ball, but if you're not on top, if the other side's dominant, it always seems to beat the bat. Hello, we got second slip in now.
So 2 slips and a gully, 3 in the offside ring. Afridi around the wicket, short ball. Labuschagne sees it pass by, no fuss there.
Well, what Australia can do, and what looks like they are trying to do, is not just survive Shaheen Afridi. That's not right. They're looking to work him around, but they are, no doubt, both these batsmen are far more conservative in their approach to Shaheen Afridi, and they should be, because he's bowling the best by an absolute mile. They know if they can survive this spell, the other bowlers aren't putting anywhere near the amount of pressure on that he is exerting. And there's runs to be had at the other end.
He's in again, and again allowed to pass. And another over goes by with not a lot of pressure. Australia sailing on beautifully. 1 for 160.
At the Salvation Army, we know that in times of heartbreak and tragedy, Christmas is tough, especially on children. Whatever the need, we want to be there to help. For $29, you can put food on the table or a gift under the tree. You can give hope where it's needed most. Please donate now at salvos.org.au.
1 for 160, the Australians. That's all happening on the KO scoreboard here at the Adelaide Oval. Darkness is upon us. The lights have taken full effect now. And the Qantas aeroplanes overhead just heading into the Adelaide airport. And a change in the special comments team. Ian Chappell, a little frustrated, departs, and in comes Darren Lehman. And on cue, the leg spinner that Ian Chappell was looking for is finally back into the attack from the scoreboard end. Welcome back, Buffer.
Thanks, Chuck. Listeners? Yeah, well, this is about 21 minutes too late since the break.
Leg slip in place. Warner reverse sweeps, beautifully executed shot. That's going to be a boundary, I'd suggest. Racing towards the third man boundary. Oh, the fieldsman might get there. An unnecessary dive to chop the ball back, and in the end, just the 3 runs. So the reverse sweep, David Warner's pulling out all the tricks against the leg spinner. That was actually pitched in line with the stumps, but he executed it nicely.
Well, no slip, was it?
No slip, and they're going to go after Yasir Shah. I suppose, to be fair to Azhar Ali, the captain, maybe that's why he tried Iftikhar after the break, just to try something different. It hasn't worked, and to be fair to him, at least he's had the presence of mind to take him off after those first 2 overs. And this is what we think he should have started with, either Yasir Shah or one of the quicks. So here's his champion leg spinner.
In again, skidding ball, cut into the offside, no run. Yeah, that and a different take, Tubbs, but maybe can I sneak one somehow with Iftikhar, and then when Smith walks to the wicket, I'll bring the leg spinner back. But that didn't happen, so they've gone to their main spin weapon, and I think we all thought that should have been the case. Can he strike is the question. Skidding ball, cut into the offside, doesn't meet the man at point. So they've got a slip, a backward point, a man patrolling the boundary at deep point, short cover mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket, a man at bat pad, and then Shaheen Afridi is out at deep backward square. Oh, just in front of the Chapel stand here at the Adelaide Oval. Shah in again, beautifully pitched leg spinner. That actually spun. That took the surface, boys, and really ripped across. So that's positive signs.
Well, on the Spinalese replay there, it has.
Oi.
Bit of bounce as well. Could have just ripped the glove almost, didn't it? It was that close. Good delivery.
That's the best one we've seen today or this evening from the leg spinner Yasir Shah. He's in again. And that one skids through. Labuschagne left the ball. And I just wonder, we're a long way from the action. It's hard enough to pick it from 22 yards. Whether that was a wrong or a top spinner, but there was a few oohs and ahs in the effects mic. We're waiting for the Spinalese replay here to talk you through it. I'm not sure I'm going to get a Spinalese replay this time. Yasir Shah again into the wicket, forward in defence. That's a nice over. And at the completion of the over on the KO scoreboard, stream over 50 sports live and on demand. Australia are 1 for 163.
I'm Dr. Theo Spirakis from Bexley Dental. As we get older, our teeth can become wobbly and more susceptible to breaking. If you do have a problem, come and see me, and together we'll find a solution. For over a decade, I've been using the all-on-4 procedure from the Malo Clinic, Portugal. We've had enormous success treating broken and missing teeth and uncomfortable dentures. It's your life, your smile. I'm confident I can help you. Book your free consultation at bexleydental.com.au.
1 for 163, the Australians, after they lost an early wicket. Afridi is in again, he's short, and in defence Warner has been outstanding today and tonight. He's into the 90s, well, he's 90 exactly. Labuschagne is 66, so this partnership now really causing some headaches for the Pakistan team, and just look to be going through the motions a little bit. Not the bowler, been really impressed with this young man, but there's not a lot of energy out there at the moment.
Well, he's almost been better than Brisbane, hasn't he? Shaheen Afridi.
He's got 1 for 31 off 14. Troubled batsman. They've played and missed. He's in again. The long levers on the money. Quick single. Warner drops into the offside, and Labuschagne responds. And Warner moves to 91.
Yeah, and it's David Warner, as I said, back in form, and also this is his best score in a day-night test. He's certainly struggled Which you can do, I think, as an opening batsman in day-night test matches, particularly if you happen to be batting at night. As we talked about Jimmy Anderson here a couple of years ago, really swinging it round late in the evening. I think it was about night 3 or something, or night 2 or 3 of that test match. So it can be tough as an opening batsman. So David Warner will be enjoying the fact that at least he's batting under the lights with a ball that's now 47 overs old.
Around the wicket, Afridi. Labuschagne strong in defence. Been very impressed. You're right, Tubbs, and quite often the tactics in these day-night tests as well are affected, and people are thinking about declarations in the evening to give their opening bowlers that swinging new ball. We've seen over the 4 tests that have been played here that there has been plenty of damage in the evening. Pakistan needs some right now for their morale and perhaps for the sake of the test match, because Australia at the moment are well in control. Afridi around the wicket, and again, patience of Marnus Labuschagne. He's allowed balls to pass regularly outside off stump. He's waited for his cut shot, and where he's been very strong has been off his pads. Middle and leg stump, he's worked the ball powerfully through the leg side.
And there's no doubt he's done not so much copied Steve Smith, but he's got similar technique in a way that A, lets the ball go in the same way, but also gets a long way across in front of his stumps. And when the bowlers tend to bowl straight at the stumps, he clips them through mid-wicket. So then they push the ball wider and wider of off stump.
Afridi again driven, fielded off his own bowling, no run, continue mark.
And he then tends to let the ball go very well. And he waits for a genuine half volley or a short wide one which he can cut. He's not tempted to flirt all that often outside off stump. So he's got his technique sorted out very well. If you bowl straight, I'll clip you through mid-wicket, and then I'll wait for the right one wide of off stump. And he keeps very simple, and it's working nicely for him.
Again, some good messages there. Knowing your game, waiting patiently, scoring where you know you can score, and don't be tempted outside of that. That's what the best do, and Marnus is certainly heading that way now. He defends this ball into the offside to complete another unsuccessful Pakistan over on the KO scoreboard. 1 for 164.
We all have a right to live and work in buildings which are safe. So if the cladding on your building needs replacing, insist on Mitsubishi Alpolic NC. It's non-combustible aluminium cladding that's passed all Australian tests. For over 20 years, Mitsubishi Alpolic has been the gold standard for aluminium cladding. It's safe, it's proven, and it's available from Network Architectural. Mitsubishi Alpolic NC non-combustible cladding. Insist on it for your building. Call Network Architectural on 1371 75.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Macquarie Sports Radio bringing you this second test, the day-night pink ball test from the magnificent, picturesque Adelaide Oval. Truly is a beautiful sporting stadium. Enjoyed calling the football here as well, as Yasir Shah, the leg spinner, is in. Warner just knocks it down to the man in the deep at mid-on and takes another easy single. He moves along to 92, David Warner, edging ever so close now to his 23rd Test 100. Speaking about his record earlier in the afternoon, not as good overseas as in this country, but boy, his record in Australia is outstanding. As Yasir Shah is in, short ball. Labuschagne punches. You heard the call of 2. They're looking for it. I don't think they'll get it though. Fielded nicely in the deep. So just a single to the sweeper on the offside.
And Yasir Shah will be annoyed with that single. He worried Marnus Labuschagne last over. Just dragged that one down a little bit. Quicker ball. I thought he slowed it up a little bit last over to Labuschagne, which I think's the way to go. He looks like he's bowling a little bit quick.
Warner works through the leg side, beats the man at leg slip. He'll get 1. They want 2. Warner's coming, throws on its way. Into the deck it went, and they got there pretty easily in the end. Good running, really good running between the wickets between this pair.
They've done that all game, haven't they, these two? They know every run's vital. It's a slow outfield. So if he's not quite there, he knows he can beat him on pace, David Warner back. They've had a couple of half opportunities in the field. If they actually threw even close to the keeper, they might have been half a chance.
And there's no doubt the Aussies are targeting the fielding of Pakistan as well. They're putting them under pressure all the time. David Warner probably does it to every side, but particularly the Pakistan side, who are not known for their fielding.
Shah again. Warner forward in defence, no run. And we know a former colleague of yours, Subby, and Steve Rickson was the fielding coach, and he definitely lifted the standards of Pakistan. And statistically, I read numbers in an article that he'd lifted their standard purely through, as you'd imagine, hard work. Short ball, Warner knocks to the leg side, no run. Unfortunately for Pakistan, Steve Rickson tenure ended. I don't think he was all that happy with a couple of circumstances. And now Grant Bradburn, actually a New Zealander, is the fielding coach now with the Pakistan side, and I'm tipping he's having some sleepless nights. Yasir Shah's in again. Warner crunches into the offside, beats the man in the ring at cover. They'll get definitely 2. Thinking about 3. It's picked up in the deep now and returned. Just the 2 to Warner, moving him now ever so close. 96, it's within range. That is the completion of another over on the KO scoreboard. Australia continue to motor at 1 for 170.
Have you applied for a warehouse worker role only to be told you don't have the experience and that you need a forklift licence? Well, Australian Forklift Training has the solution. We can give you the skills and the forklift licence you want to secure the job you really need. And best of all, this may be subsidised by the New South Wales Government. That's right, call Australian Forklift Training today to see if you're eligible for funded training to get you working fast. Call us now on 8814 8640. RTO 91037.
1 for 170, the Australians well in command of this second test match. Pakistan desperate for a breakthrough and a bowling change. Darren Lehman, they've taken Shaheen Shah Afridi, who's been their best, out of the attack. We said before, an important spell from the youngster. Well, this is Mohammad Abbas, who's come back into the side. He's just got to find a way here to get a wicket for his team.
Yeah, that's correct, Chuck. I do like one thing here. I think a lot of sides, Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne, like to try and nick them off, but they go across their stumps because that's how they normally get out. I think you've got to change your thought process with that.
Come back, because there's an interesting field at the moment, Darren. So you were talking, not sure whether we were off air or on air, that maybe they should come a little straighter for the LBW. Now Abbas is in the attack. 1 slip, a gully, 3 in the offside ring, but they've gone with a mid-on, a short mid-wicket and a square leg. So that suggests to me that their tactics are, we will bowl straighter.
But they should bowl straighter, and they've got to keep him back in the crease, so the keeper might actually have to come up to Abbas. And to keep him in the crease, they can attack the stumps. If he whips it, he's got to take a risk as well.
Abbas is in, on line. That one's off the outside half of the bat, goes to point.
But it's too short there.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's still too short. So the keeper's got to come up, get him back in the crease and bowl straighter. And I think sometimes you get, with Steve Smith, for example, he goes so far across, they bowl wider. Well, they're good balls. He just lets go. You've got to. The hardest thing is to challenge the defence of a batsman, ball after ball. And Abbas today has been too short. He hasn't hit the knee roll, top of the knee roll.
Just staggering. He's in again with a snell, the right arm over, work to the leg side. At least they've got fielding cover there, but it's been strange because in the UAE he bowled fuller, and just maybe the Pakistan inexperienced attack, the bouncier wickets, they think, we can hit the wicket and use the bounce, but still, old Paul Rifle still ringing my ears. A good length is still a good length and needs to be a little bit fuller to these, both batsmen, and we've said it throughout the day. Mohammad Abbas, the right arm bowler, played forward this time, but no run.
See, that's still too short. That's going over the stumps. He needs to bring the keeper up, bowl fuller, attack. I'd even attack middle and off stump for someone like Marnus.
Yeah, well, as I said, he takes Gardner about middle, I think, Marnus, and then he's got that little shuffle across just as the bowler bowls. So he will take you from off stump, middle and off through square leg, but that's a risky shot if you can keep him quiet and get one through.
This one's a fuller delivery. That's the better length. That's the length that Darren Lehman's calling for, dragging the batsman forward. Quite surprised that the wicket-keeper, who early in the day, probably only 8, 10, 12 overs from memory, it was early, he was up to the stumps when the ball was bumping through. The ball's now 48 overs old and he hasn't looked like coming up. So this is the time now where the keeper should come up and try and create something in the game.
Well, they need something special. They need to get a wicket very quickly.
1 for 170 as Abbas continues from the river end. Fuller ball, better length, and not as comfortable in those two deliveries, completing the over. 49 overs complete on the KO scoreboard. Australia 1 for 170.
Are low interest rates impacting on your investment returns? It's time to rethink. Rethink Investing creates wealth for clients through the strategic purchase of positively geared, high cash flow commercial property. Industrial properties, retail assets, or office spaces can be a smart investment option that produces significant and long-term return on investment. Rethink your investment options and look to commercial property. Learn more at rethinkinvesting.com.au. Rethink Investing, Australia's #1 commercial buyers agency.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. The day-night test match continues. Australia well in command, 1 for 170. David Warner on 96. One nice stroke away from bringing up his 23rd Test 100.
Reverse sweep 4.
That's the call from Darren Lehman. How about a drive through backward point? Not sure it'll get there. Fieldsman's in the hot pursuit. They'll get 2, maybe 3. No, they're happy with 2. So Warner not happy with himself. He gave himself a bit of a punch in the right thigh there and got 2. He moves to 98.
Oh, he got the ball he was after. That's why. It was wide of off stump and he drove at it. It's just got a bit of a thick outside edge. He hits out in the middle. It's 4 because there's only 3 on the offside, saving 1. No slip. No one in the deep. If he beats the offside, he's got 100.
98, Warner on strike. Down the leg side, it was there for the taking, and he's missed that as well.
He wanted that, didn't he?
Geez, yeah. I'll tell you what, the guy at leg slip.
He didn't.
Oh, I think it's Asad Shafiq there. He can wear that in the teeth. If David Warner hits that, he was going to hit that really hard.
So, 2 missed opportunities here. They just might test David Warner. Yasir Shah, forward in defence. Well played, David Warner. Just detected both those shots. He felt missed him a chance, so obviously he just needs to wait for that right ball and not try and create. Just feel he's a bit of a cat on a hot tin roof at the moment. Will this ball bring up his 23rd Test 100? Short ball. Knocked into the man at bat pad on the bounce, no run.
Good pressure that. It was good work from, I think, that Shan Masood in there underneath the lid. That was really well done. He's pretty good because he's a tall man, Shan Masood. He's one of the taller bat pads going around. He knocked that down well because Warner wanted to get off strike there.
So Yasir Shah, the leg spinner, trying to keep the pressure on. Warner forward, no run again.
Always get a little bit nervous now, don't you?
Yeah.
A couple of balls, he's missed an opportunity with a half volley. Leg side. He's made it enough. He's calm. He'll just take one or...
Last ball of the over, Buff. Let's see. Short. He gets this one behind square, but he'll only get one. He'll keep the strike and move to 99. KO scoreboard. Australia 1 for 173.
Entry into promotions and competitions conducted by this station are governed by terms and conditions. So when you're in it to win it, remember to read the terms and conditions that are found on the win page at sportsradio.com.au.
This Movember, here's to the straggly moustaches. The lopsided ones. The itchy, ratty, ferrety ones. The, hey, I look good with this ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. Because whatever you grow, we'll save a bro. Donate now at Movember.com.
50 overs down in this day-night test match. We've had some rain. We've had some breaks in play. David Warner is on 99. Following up from a wonderful test match at the Gabba. And his partner in crime, Marnus, Labuschagne at the other end, is on 67, not out. Dominant partnership after Burns fell when the score was on 8. They've moved it now to 173 for no further addition. It's a fairly tight ring for Abbas to bowl to Warner. Right arm over, he's with us. Warner pushes to the off. They thought about a single, no. The Game within the game.
Isn't it amazing? It's a 99, all of a sudden both batsmen look a bit edgy. Marnus Labuschagne there was, well, he was nearly half around the pitch. Warner just pushed the ball straight to point. Fortunately, he called very loudly, big no, and pointed his bat at Labuschagne and said, get back.
Back you go.
I think Labuschagne's more nervous than David Warner.
Well, it's interesting because he hasn't been playing at those balls either. It was quite wide. He could have let it go if he wanted to.
Warner on 99, faces a bus. Full, driven into the offside. No run. One slip. Gully, point. Extra cover. Short cover, mid-off. It's a stacked offside. And they're trying at the moment to stop Warner from bringing up his 23rd 100.
Well, bring fine leg up as well. This is the time in Brisbane Test match.
Here they come right now, Buffalo.
They actually got it right. They actually decided to actually have a ring field and put some pressure on the batsman. I reckon it was when Warner was getting to his 100 in Brisbane, wasn't it? They brought the field up. It looked really good.
Yep.
And they've just done the same thing.
And he'll get it, and then they'll spread them all out again. Here he comes, Abbas, right arm over the wicket. Warner on strike, back in defence. No run again.
The other thing that always interests me with bowlers is how much better they bowl when the guys are 99. That's purely concentration. That's all that can be. Why can you bowl 3 or 4 deliveries like that to a guy who's on 99 and yet you can't do it when he's on 39?
Yep.
It's a bit of pressure, sure, from the batsman. He might be a little bit nervous, but he's waiting for a loose ball, and you don't seem to get it when you're on 99 because bowlers concentrate better. But when you're on 69 or 79, you'll get one.
Abbas in again. Warner on 99 allows it to pass outside the off stump. Just a little bit of tension building everywhere. The crowd are involved, and you can even hear in our voices we're willing David Warner over the line.
The crowd's involved because it's 9 o'clock at night, Chuck, and they've been out in the back all day.
On the Bristies.
But they do come out. They do come out and watch milestones out of that crowd. So now the hill or the terraces, they've all come out to witness the 100.
So Abbas once again to Warner on 99. Works to leg. Thought about a single. Marnus said no, we're not taking that one.
Yeah, I thought that might have been the one. He's waiting for that ball on the hip, David Warner. That one wasn't quite on the hip. It was about sort of middle stump, and he tried to work at leg side where that fine leg has now been brought up to square leg. David Warner, 99, his wife Candice, I saw her at the airport yesterday. She's here in the crowd, watching on.
She'll be a bit tense and nervous as well, watching the hubby in action. Can he bring up his 23rd Test 100 off the final ball of Abbas's over? He's with us now. Oh, was there to cut. He let it go, perhaps a fraction full, and through to the wicketkeeper, completing the 51st over. And we're getting shots all around the ground. On the KO scoreboard, Australia are 1 for 173.
The Great Wall Steed Stampede is now on. Round up a petrol dual cab or the diesel single cab with a free trade from only $19,990. That's right, a petrol dual cab or diesel single cab from only $19,990 drive away. And we'll throw in a huge 5-year warranty. But hurry, the Steed Stampede is going fast. So get into your Great Wall dealer now. Great Wall, it's built to work. See greatwallmotors.com.au for T's and C's. Yeah!
So the leg spinner, Yasir Shah, will continue. He's bowling to the right-handed Marnus Labuschagne, who's on 67. Warner's on 99 at the non-striker's end. Shah is in, he bowls full. Quick single taken, the man at mid-off is just a fraction deep. So again, we have Warner on strike. 5 balls of this over. Will the 23rd 100 come to fruition in this over? I think it will. I'm tipping... This is the over, Tubby.
Well, he's going to push one in mid-off, isn't he? There'll be a bowl. Who's it mid-off there, Chuck? Is it the young Musa?
Or is it Mohammad Abbas there at mid-off?
Mohammad Abbas is back at point. I'm trying to see him.
Well, I tell you what it was. It was good batting there from Marnus Labuschagne to push a single first ball, to get Warner on strike, give him another 5 deliveries to get his 100.
Well, Musa's at mid-off, Chuck, so he might just push one in mid-off and take off.
Okay.
No, David Warner.
3 in the offside, there's no slip. Pressure on the leg spinner, he's in with us now, he bowls, Warner goes back, they take a quick single, chance for a run out if he hits, he runs into the bowler, he drops his bat, and he David Warner.
Yeah, it's the sixth time he's gone back-to-back, David Warner, thanks to Bingle for those stats. And his first one under lights, I believe, in a day-night test match. That's why he's actually extra excited out there. And with David Warner, we sort of said at the Gabba, it was a bit of a subdued celebration there, but not so this time. He scampered through. He actually dropped his bat. He sort of had a slight collision with Yasir Shah. Then he continued on, took the helmet off straight away, did the customary jump, and as you say, kissed the helmet. He really enjoyed that 100.
Well played, David Warner. Labuschagne on strike now, and he works one into the leg side. So Darren Lehman was saying a little earlier, we might be in for a bit of entertainment now, Buff, because he's brought up his 100, David Warner I speak of, and you feel he might not throw caution to the wind, but maybe just lift his intensity now.
Well, especially against the spin. I think that's where he looks to really penetrate now with the day night. He knows the last, there's 22 required in the day. Those last 20 overs is going to nip around a little bit, you would think. Hasn't been much, though, to be fair.
No, it hasn't done a lot. It hasn't swung much at night. I suppose that's the beauty of batting first, though, in a day-night game. You get to the night session tonight, and it was 40 overs old. Because of the rain, didn't get a chance to even take a second new ball tonight.
That's true.
Two set batsmen at the crease. Warner in defence.
So normally, if you play a normal day of test match cricket, there's 90 overs bowled in the day. So at the 80 over mark, at least you get 10 overs with the second year ball. That's not going to happen tonight. So the toss has really worked in Australia's favour, and they've played well with it.
That's been a wonderful afternoon of batting and into the evening. Warner on 100 is on strike. He's fought in defence. Shah comes around the wicket to him. No runs scored there.
Seeing a stat there, 6 times now Warner has scored back-to-back hundreds. Bradman did it 9 times. No great surprise there.
Yes, he's Shah in again. Warner works it to the leg side and some easy runs now. A single to him takes him to 101, so that will complete the over. Tubbs, we'll come back to your stats in a moment. On the KO scoreboard, partnership now is up to, what are we up to, 169, I think, so they're ploughing along. The score is 1 for 177.
At the Salvation Army, we know that in times of heartbreak and tragedy, Christmas is tough, especially on children. Whatever the need, we want to be there to help. For $29, you can put food on the table or a gift under the tree. You can give hope where it's needed most. Please donate now at salvos.org.au.
If you've just joined us on Macquarie Sports Radio, you've just missed David Warner bringing up his 100. He's on 101. Abbas is around the wicket to him. Inside edge, no runs scored. Partnership worth 169 after Burns fell early. He was caught behind in the 4th over. Shaheen Afridi, who bowled beautifully, found the outside edge. Rizwan took it low down to his right. And Pakistan had a little bit of a sniff. Since then, it's been all one-way traffic. And it's been for the green and gold. Labuschagne 69 and Warner 101 not out. Pakistan just have to find a way to get a couple of wickets this evening. Abbas is in again. Full ball. Warner pushes into the offside. The call of yes went early. And they take an easy single.
Well, it's been a feature of their play, isn't it? Sorry. Go on.
So I was just going to say hundreds in consecutive test match innings. Don Bradman 9 times, we said.
Shocked me.
There's a shock. And 7 times for Kenny Barrington.
Wow.
Great English player, yeah. 6 times, we just mentioned David Warner now in consecutive innings in test matches. Steve Waugh did it 6 times, as did Ricky Ponting and Jacques Kallis. Stats thanks to Brett Graham and thanks to Bingle for those stats.
Not a bad list at all. Some magnificent players amongst them. Warner one of them. 6 times, Mark Taylor tells us. Consecutive innings bringing up hundreds. Labuschagne works to leg. Little confusion. They decided not to go in the end.
Well, his average in Australia just goes higher and higher, doesn't it?
We say 17 Test match hundreds now in Australia for David Warner, so 6 away from home. That just shows the disparity there. That's been the one sort of area of David Warner's game which I'm sure he'd love to improve. That away record. England hasn't been a great hunting ground for him.
Abbas again, leg side. Big appeal for LBW. Labuschagne went across his crease again, as Darren Lehman's spoken about, and it was adjudicated a leg bye. So they're going to have a think about, surely not. For a moment there, I thought they were going to go upstairs. Still, Azhar Ali is contemplating it.
Well, on the spinal edge replay, we'll get a look in a minute. He does go a long way across. It was probably a bit short, though, wasn't as well. Wasn't full enough.
I tell you what, it's the first appeal, or at least a half shout we have had for, well, just about since the rain. It just shows you how dominant these two have been.
Bus around the wicket to Warner. Full delivery, punched into the gap nicely. It's a well-timed stroke. It beats the infield. Yasir Shah is chasing deeply. They're going to get 2. They're turning for 3. And Warner continues to dominate. Pakistan attack.
It's only been since that half shot with Joe Burns and the wicket, isn't it? It hasn't been much at all. Really, Marnus Labuschagne hit the ground for one, didn't he?
That was his first ball, I think, from memory.
That was about it.
There hasn't been a lot to cheer about or appeal about from a Pakistan point of view. We've been quite shocked at the lack of movement of the pink ball, cool conditions, and perhaps a little bit of surface water perhaps on the surface here, and just hasn't swung around like we thought it may. And now in the evening session, 2 batsmen certainly well established at the creases. Abbas is in again. That's a good ball. He finds the outside edge. It beats the man at gully. It races down towards the third man boundary, and another boundary to Australia. One slip in a gully. The outside edge was found, Tubbs, but nothing forthcoming. Completing the over on the KO scoreboard. KO stream over 50 sports live and on demand. 1 for 186.
Introducing New South Wales Trustee and Guardian, the state's largest will maker. Our experts can help you make or update your will and then store it for you too. With our flexible consultations, you can start the process online, call us, or simply drop into one of our 9 offices throughout New South Wales. We make preparing a will easy. While some things have changed over the years, others remain the same for a good reason. New South Wales Trustee and Guardian, writing wills for ages. Start your will today. Visit tag.nsw.gov.au or call 1300 10 20 30. For fees and charges, please see our website.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval, the Domain Test Series, the 2 Test Series between Australia and Pakistan. Australia dominated at Brisbane, winning by an innings and 5 runs, and they're dominating here. 1 for 186. Change in the special comments chair. Mark Taylor having a little spell, and Ian Chappell returns alongside Darren Lehman. Not a lot has happened, chaps, since you left us last time, apart from David Warner bringing up his 23rd Test 100.
Yeah, back-to-back for David Warner. What's he done it 6 times? That's pretty good performance. And a good innings, this one. Very good innings.
He's facing Yasir Shah now, who's around the wicket. Warner just works it into the man. Masood at bat pad, no run. Just get the feeling, Ian, there's a few more runs for him too to be had.
Oh yeah, he looked in that sort of mood, that hungry mood up in Brisbane. I don't think it's changed.
Shah again. Warner cuts. Warner smacks it through the offside. I said there's more runs on the offing. Well, that one has been belted. 4 runs to the point boundary.
Well, good use of his feet again. Gave himself some room. And just a fraction short, but he uses his crease so well there. Gets back and gives himself a little bit of room and punches it through the offside for 4. Now, they've been motoring. I mean, compare red ball run rates to pink ball run rates. This is like going at probably 4.5 and over. And in a way, I know it's not. It's still the scoreboard's still the same, but slower scoring with the pink ball.
Shah again. Warner sweeps this time down on one knee. There's a man in the deep, Iftikhar. So only a single to David Warner, but he now moves along to 110.
I feel sorry for Yasir Shah. The 2 tours he's had for Australia, he's been captained very badly, and once again here, mind you, I guess he's got to take some of the blame himself. But I mean, bowling round the wicket to a 6-3 field it's just defensive.
Yeah, there's not a lot of positiveness in that. Labuschagne's played him nicely as well. He just eases that one forward into the offside. Another easy single. Fielded by the man in the deep. So Labuschagne 74, Warner 110.
Well, I agree. I think you have to, as a bowler, if it hasn't worked you on the first tour, you come back to play another test, same thing happens again, and now you're in a pink ball test, the same thing's happening again with your fields. You've got to say, well, hang on, skipper, I'm not bowling until I get the field I want. Obviously, you're going to bowl if the captain asks you. 6
men on the leg side. Warner obliges and smacks one of the men at deep backward square, and again, easy runs. That's the thing with this field at the moment. He's limited as to where he can bowl, and Warner's picking him off at ease. No pressure. Disappointing for a man who's got a very good test record, one of the best leg spinners in the world, and he's been treated easily at the moment. Now to the right-hander. Worked into mid-wicket, no run, completing the over on the KO scoreboard. Australia heading powerfully towards 200. They're 1 for 193.
As proud partner of Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket, Nissan brings you their 2019 plate clearance. With 7-year warranty and roadside assist, plus bonus FPOS card worth up to $3,500 on selected models. See your Nissan dealer now. T's and C's apply.
This December, the President's Cup returns to the prestigious Royal Melbourne Golf Club, where playing captain Tiger Woods will lead his United States side against Captain Ernie Els' international team. Be here to witness history. Get your tickets at presidentscup.com.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval for the second test between Australia and Pakistan. Australia 1 for 193. Another bowling change as Pakistan desperate for a breakthrough. They've got to get more than one. They've got to make some inroads here tonight. They can't just wait. So they've gone to their young debutant, Musa, who's going to come from the River Torrens end. He's bowled 9 overs, 1 maiden, none for 47. So he's been rather expensive on debut, a little short earlier. And he's going to be bowling to David Warner. Darren Lehman and Ian Chappell alongside me in commentary on the Macquarie Sports Radio Network. Musa Khan, the debutant. Strong, powerful little body. Full ball, smacked into the offside. Beautifully timed, but there's a man out there at deep point, and they'll only get one.
Well, just speaking about that field there, Darren, where they put the extra buck in the offside and at a deep backward point where that ball went, it's the perfect time to bowl now in a day-night test match. And we'll say it again, we said it last week in Brisbane, they're better to go the other way and actually bring all the field up and actually try and get some wickets, because if they don't get wickets tonight, the game's gone, because Australia will be bowling for 2.5 hours tomorrow night in the best possible time against a young, inexperienced Pakistan batting lineup, and there'll be too many runs ahead because you've got an extra hour's play tomorrow, obviously.
And as we speak, they're sending a man now to the deep point boundary. So it happens a little bit in English county cricket as Musa Khan is in again. He's short, he's pulled, and it's 4 runs. Just too easy. Bad bowling, bad captaincy, bad cricket, and very good batting.
Yeah, excellent shot. He's been keen to play the pull shot all day, Marnus Labuschagne. He got on top of that one nicely. The young quickie Musa has been very keen to bang the ball in short. He's done it too often on that occasion, and you get a lot of those in Adelaide. They sit about chest height. They're absolutely perfect for the short boundaries.
Well, I tell you what, it's not even short enough, is it? Like when he's doing it, he's got to be shorter.
2 back for the hook now. Ian's been frustrated with that all day. He's gone short. He's been pulled. He's going to split the gap. I think there's 2 out there. Put them all out there if you like, because Marnus is absolutely destroying this young man at the moment. Back-to-back boundaries and another beautiful pull shot.
Well, again, not high enough. If you're going to bowl short, you've got to get it around head height and make him try and keep it down. And that's really just getting to chest height, isn't it? And he just swivels around. And that's been amazing batting by these two. Look at that. 202 runs the partnership now, thanks to Bingle. 327 balls, so that's what, almost 50 overs, so 4 and over.
It's been dominant, Buff. I'd love, and I'm sure you would, Ian, just to know what was said between the captain and the bowler. We'd love a mic on that to hear that communication as Musa is in again. He's full of this time. Labuschagne into the offside. Half run out chance again, but a missed field from the man at short cover, and they get, in the end, an easy single. I would love to know what the captain is saying to his young quick. Instead of having those two men back and bumping it in and a deep point, I agree with Darren Lehman. The captain now has to be proactive. He's got to bring the field up. He's got to ask his bowler to bowl full and attack the stumps and try and create a wicket. At the moment, you just feel, Ian, they're almost going through the motions, hoping one of these batsmen will make a silly mistake.
Well, there was a lot of that in Brisbane as well. And I've seen a lot of it recently from Pakistan sides, poorly captained.
One slip in a gully, Khan in, cut into the offside. Yep, there's a man in the deep, but it's easy pickings as Warner takes another very simple single. No control of the game. The Australians are doing as they please.
Yeah, we saw this on the last tour. That's when the current coach, Misbah, was the captain. Pakistan, when was the last time they won a game in Australia? That Sydney Test when Wasim Akram was playing and Mushtaq got some wickets. Mark Taylor was still playing. Mark Taylor was captain of Australia at the time. I think it was about 98. It's the last time Pakistan have won in this country.
Musa in again, pumped into the leg side by Labuschagne. He didn't beat the fielder. He hit it beautifully, but didn't pierce the field. So an expensive over as Musa came back into the attack. It went for 11 on the KO scoreboard. It's 1 for 204.
And in sports this week, a surprise win from a $5 Big Mac meal with extra cheeseburger in Macca's 30 days, 30 deals.
John, just read the prompt.
But it's a different deal every day.
See the My Macca's app for details.
Just listen to that. How good does that sound?
The Ram 1500 pickup truck, the V8 Bad Boy broadcast partner of Macquarie Sports Radio.
1 for 204 on the KO scoreboard. That is the Australian score after they won the toss and elected to bat, and bat they have. Burns fell early for 4. If you've just joined the coverage late on Macquarie Sports Radio, he was caught behind by Mohammad Rizwan of Shaheen Shah Afridi. Since then, Warner and Labuschagne have not given the Pakistan side a sniff. Now, another bowling change. Abbas has reverted to the scoreboard end. He's back of a length, as he has been most of the day, and has not troubled either of these batsmen with that length. At 125 clicks, you're not going to trouble too many back of a length.
And you think about it, the really beating the bat, that's been Shaheen Afridi, and not too many other deliveries have beaten the bat. He beat the bat a lot early, and then a little bit in a latter spell. But boy, that hasn't beaten the bat too often.
Abbas is in again, outside off stump and allowed to pass through to the wicket keeper.
Yeah, it just hasn't. And maybe they did say it was. When I was speaking to Nathan Lyon out there pre-game, he was saying the grass was, quite a drier, coarser grass. So maybe it's a little bit of a different wicket again than we've seen the previous day-nighters. Again, you can't tell until both sides have batted on it, but I'm pretty sure if Australia are bowling tomorrow night at this time, they're getting wickets. They're attacking. They're not worried about defending.
What's Abbas got this time from the scoreboard end? A little fuller. Warner cuts him through the offside. The gap between cover and point. They get 1. They'll turn and come back for 2. And Warner really is doing it fairly easily now as he moves to 115. Buff, you did say to me pre-match when you came up after doing that interview with David Warner that you thought he'd taken a lot of the grass off compared to previous day-night tests, and it's played very true.
Yeah, it has. So, again, it just... They haven't put enough balls in the right area, have they? And the fields have been so defensive. Until we see the Australians bowl at this time of night, we won't have a really good idea of what it's like. And we'll get that tomorrow night. There's no doubt they'll be bowling at this time.
So a ring field now for Abbas to Warner. Leg stump, defended. Warner looks hungry. He's on 115 and not done yet. I think he's sniffing a real big one here at the Adelaide Oval. If he gets through tonight, what have we got? 17, 18 overs, I think, required in this evening's play. If Warner and Marnus Labuschagne can go to stumps tonight, one down, shut the gate. It's done.
I'll tell you what will happen. David Warner will come out and play shots because he got stuck in Brisbane, didn't he? The second day after he got through that 150 not out.
Abbas in through to the keeper, Rizwan. It just bounced short of him, but they thought about a bye. No run taken.
Darren, the gate is shut, bolted, and the horse is off. He's miles away, mate.
He's out the Gawler.
I tell you what, you can stick a fork in Pakistan already. They're done.
Well done. Ian Chappell says the horse is on his way. He might be at the Barossa. I think Tubbs might be heading up there for a little cool refreshment as well later in the week with his lovely. As Abbas is in again as we digress, and it passes through to the keeper at the end of the 56th over. Ian Chappell says Pakistan are cooked. 1 for 206 Australia.
Help is insurance you can count on when the unexpected catches you out.
Catch it!
Westpac Home Insurance. Insurance you can count on. Search Westpac Home Insurance. Proud partner of Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket.
This Movember, here's to the straggly moustaches. The lopsided ones. The itchy, ratty, ferrety ones. The, hey, I look good with this ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. Because whatever you grow, we'll save a bro. Donate now at Movember.com.
1 for 206 Australia. Still an hour and a quarter of play available on this opening day, or now opening night of the second test. 21 overs still to be bowled. And Mohammad Musa to continue from this, the River Torrens or City End.
Oh, have a look at the field now, will you?
So they decided to bowl short, and he hasn't got one up above chest height. He's got 3 men back on the leg side and a deep backward point. They're probably just going to throw the ball back in a bit quicker so they can get their over rate up.
Gee whiz.
Over the wicket, the youngster comes to Marnus Labuschagne, who is chopping away at one outside off stump, and in fact on the bounce he finds the fine gully. So yeah, leg side field, deep backward square, deep square leg, deep mid wicket or a cow corner, and a mid on. How would you rate that out of 10, Chappelli?
None. Not even one for turning up. And I mean, especially asking a kid playing, what's he? Is he 16?
And 19.
No, he's 19 in this one.
He's 19, isn't he? And playing in his first test, asking him to do this sort of job. I mean, it's not a job you should be asking any bowler to do, but, oh, boy.
Offside field, a slip, a gully, deep backward point right on the rope in front of the Sir Edwin Smith stand, a cover, and a mid-off. Labuschagne on 83. Warner has 115. Partnership almost worth 200. Musa in bouncer, and it was wide of off stump, and it's in fact called a wide. As umpire Goff glanced out at umpire Illingworth at square leg, who already had the arms to the horizontal, and that makes the partnership worth 199.
Well, I thought that actually, at least he got it high. At least he got it above head height, but it was too high. You can't get it right, the young fella. And you're right, it's a tough job for the captain Asad debutant to actually do this first up.
He's on his way again. Past umpire Goff. Short ball. Labuschagne swings into the pull shot all the way along the carpet. And the middleman, if you like, Imam-ul-Haq at deep square leg. Sandwich between the deep backward square and the cow corner, does the fielding. And that single brings up the 200 partnership. 1 for 208.
I don't know how many test grounds I've played in around the world, but I would rate Adelaide Oval number 1 for playing the pull shot. I mean, the number of balls that got up chest height in Adelaide were numerous. And, you know, I mean, it's the perfect height for playing the pull shot. And then you throw in the fact that the short boundary is on the side. And I mean, the best place in the world to play the pull shot, and you've got a 19-year-old kid playing his first test, and you're putting 3 guys back, and he's got 3 guys back on the onside for Warner as well, and you're just asking him to bang the ball in short. This is totally brainless cricket.
Musa in again, over the wicket to Warner, bouncer, and that was a decent one. Warner ducked quickly and it fizzed over his back and through to Mohammad Rizwan. That 200 partnership from 321 deliveries, thanks to Bingle.
I just wonder what a guy like Waqar Younis is thinking, sitting up in the stand. I mean, surely he can't be going along with this. I mean, this is the quickest way to ruin a young fast bowler's confidence.
So for Warner, there's one extra on the onside, but there's still three out in the deep. Another short ball. Warner collapses the front knee, and again it sails harmlessly over his back into the gloves of Mohammad Rizwan. There's deep backward square, deep square leg. The deep mid wicket is squarer. In fact, there's probably only 20 metres at best between those two fielders. So we're now going to have a change here.
Well, genius cricket, because I think the umpire's actually going to do the young fella a favour. Michael Goff, I think he said, I've had enough of this, and he indicated that's your two bounces for the over. He indicated it to Richard Illingworth as well. So he's then obviously told the Pakistan captain. So the Pakistan captain has decided they're not going to bowl any more bounces.
So they were strengthening the offside field. So still two out in the deep. The only other fielder on the onside is a very straight mid-on. 6-3 offside field. Musa once more, wide of off stump and smashed away by Warner, but picks out the cover point in Yasir Shah. They'll get an overthrow. He shot at the stumps at the non-striker's end, and it ricocheted out to a deepish mid-wicket.
Well, that pretty much sums up their day. I mean, it wasn't a bad piece of fielding, actually. And he's hit the stumps. He's got back safely, no problems at all, and they get a single anyway.
This is the worst cricket I've seen since Pakistan at the SCG under, what was he? He used to be Yusuf Yahanam.
Muhammad Yusuf?
Yeah.
Yeah, changed in the...
When he captained and they lost, when Hussey got 100, Siddle got a decent score.
SCG?
Yeah. I thought that was the worst, but I think this could be worse still.
Mohammad Musa again, and straight drive by Labuschagne, but he can't beat mid-on in Shaheen Shah. Afridi over is called. Finchro's scoreboard. And in fact, before that, we're actually going to have a drinks break with thanks to Deep Heat. Deep Heat patches active in just 60 seconds for relief from muscle aches and pain. And on the Finchro scoreboard, Australia reach 1 for 209 with Warner and Labuschagne, an unbroken partnership of 201. A break on Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket.
Are low interest rates impacting on your investment returns? It's time to rethink. Rethink Investing creates wealth for clients through the strategic purchase of positively geared, high cash flow commercial property. Industrial properties, retail assets, or office spaces can be a smart investment option that produces significant and long-term return on investment. Rethink your investment options and look to commercial property. Learn more at rethinkinvesting.com.au. Rethink Investing, Australia's #1 commercial buyers agency.
Oh, the Blind Factory! There's no doubt that the Blind Factory have the world's worst jingle, which is a pity because they also have the world's best window coverings. So give them a call. Just think how delighted your better half will be when you tell her there's a man coming around while you're at work. For a free measure and quote, that is. Of course, it doesn't have to be a man, it could be a woman. That's the Blind Factory for you. A blind for every window and a person of every gender. The Blind Factory. Call 13-BLINDS. Personalised people for beautiful blinds.
Share the joy this Christmas at Harvey Norman. Come in store this weekend, say hi to Santa, and get a free 6x4 photo. Plus, buy a Santa photo pack from just $15, and you could win one of 8 P&O family cruises valued at $4,500. Conditions and permit numbers apply. Limit 1 free print per family. Check local store for appearance times. From our family to yours, a free photo with Santa. We will take your family photo with Santa for free this weekend at Harvey Norman.
Morning, darling. Have you been for another walk?
Sure have.
Sounds like you've given your health a bit of a shake-up. What's made the difference?
Well, it started with this Ice Away Diabetic. A shake a day helps me boost my energy through the metabolisation of nutrients.
If you're on the diabetes spectrum, Ice Away Diabetic's nutritional support helps you maintain your health to feel your best.
Go to iceaway.com.au/diabetic to find out more, or talk to your pharmacist or medical professional today. Ice Away Diabetic. One good choice leads to another.
Finding the right business insurance shouldn't be like batting on a sticky wicket. Get on the front foot and compare, insure and save with BizCover, Australia's small business insurance specialists. Head to bizcover.com.au or give them a call, and within minutes you can easily compare multiple quotes from some of Australia's leading insurers. Plus, BizCover offers flexible monthly payment options and no paperwork, just fast coverage. Need more proof that BizCover are the small business insurance specialists? Just look at the scoreboard. BizCover has made insurance easy for over 90,000 Australian businesses and counting, offering insurance options for over 6,000 occupations. Hit your business insurance for 6. Compare, insure and save with BizCover today. See bizcover.com.au or call 1300 249 268.
Hi, this is Usman Khawaja.
And he clouts it back over the bowler's head, down to the straight boundary.
You're listening to Macquarie Sports Radio.
Yes, thank you, Uzi. And it is the drinks break. A drinks break with thanks to Deep Heat. Deep Heat patches active in just 60 seconds for relief from muscle aches and pain. Still 16 overs to be bowled on day one, which will take us through to 73 on this rain-affected first day of the day-night test here in Adelaide between Australia and Pakistan. And we're watching an unbroken 200-plus run partnership between David Warner and Marnus Labuschagne. 1 for 209. Warner on 116, Labuschagne on 84. The only man out, Joe Burns, in the fourth over of the match. It seems like about a fortnight ago. Caught Rizwan bowled Afridi for 4. The wicket fell at 8. And Warner and Labuschagne have been practically flawless since. Finally, we're going to see Yasir Shah come into the attack from the Cathedral or Northern End. 9 overs, none for 44. He's going to be bowling to David Warner, who earlier in the session registered his 23rd Test century, 17 of them coming on home soil, and his first in a day-night test. Bruce Eva sitting next to Ian Chappell and Darren Lehman on Macquarie Sports Radio Summer of Cricket. We appreciate your company wherever you're listening around the land or around the globe, as Yasir Shah is in motion and Warner is also in motion, driving him through the covers. Not sure it'll reach the rope. They've taken 2 and well, how do you describe that? I think it's Afridi as he tripped over his feet, as he's tried to be. He is a tall man. You couldn't even really class that as a misfield. We'll need to see the Spineless replay. But he's kicked it into the rope from about 6 yards out.
He hasn't had the greatest day in the field.
How do you describe that?
You've got to laugh at that.
He toe poked it into the rope. Warner to 120. Yes, he's showering again, drops short, and he cuts it out through point. Didn't quite get it, and they'll take a single.
What was it? That wasn't a Spineless replay. That was funniest home videos. That was. Strike me.
He's still shaking his head. He's got a wry smile on his face. He's been the pick of the bowlers across the test and a bit, but gee, he's trying not to laugh, in fact, on this. Oh, dearie me. 1 for 214.
Would have been a nice little dribble if he'd have been on a soccer field.
Yes, here's Shah. That's a lovely late cut by Labuschagne. Another long chase. In fact, this is picking up speed, and that'll be a boundary. What beautiful timing from the right-hander. And the run's still flowing. Australia now 1 for 218. And Buff just completely lost it.
I'm just laughing. I've seen Ian Chappell laugh. He hasn't smiled for about 2 hours because he's been watching this rubbish cricket. And then that actually happened, and he's laughing like no tomorrow.
Oh, teary me. We'll try and regain our equilibrium shortly. Labuschagne 88, Yasir Shah in again, and Labuschagne forward, bat and pad close together, and he defends down to mid-on.
You couldn't do that if you tried.
He almost actually trod on with his toe and spurted it out from his toe rather than actually towing the ball, I reckon.
It's scooted forward as Yasir bowls again. Another late cut from Labuschagne, and he beats the slip. Another chase. It certainly won't get to the rope. They'll take 2. Warner's interested in the 3rd as the throw comes in from Iftikhar Ahmed, and they settle for a brace. 1 for 220. And Labuschagne is into the 90s. 90 exactly from 162 deliveries faced, with 13 boundaries. And there's already been, 10 from the over, 11 from the over.
Only 8 off the bat.
Good evening, I'm Sophie Clark. Scammers are preying on storm-hit residents in Sydney's north. Emergency crews have been...
Hello, I'm Jo Moxey, Westpac State General Manager for Regional New South Wales and ACT. Here's an update for Westpac insurance customers affected by the recent bushfires. I'd like to assure you that Westpac Home and Contents Insurance does cover fire damage across all levels of cover. We're here to help, so please call us on 1300 369 989.
Westpac Home and Contents Insurance is issued by Westpac General Insurance Limited. Conditions, limits and exclusions apply, including waiting periods for new policies. Consider the product disclosure statement at westpac.com.au for further details or to see if it's right for you.
Macquarie Sports Radio's Sydney Traffic.
Hear every round of the English Premier League right here on Sydney's Macquarie Sports Radio 954.
Looking for the lowest liquor prices? Head in store or online now to check out Murphy's daily Black Friday offers on your favourite drinks at unbeatable prices. Enjoy responsibly. Conditions apply. In the Harbour Tunnel, very slow southbound, up towards Moore Park via the ED, past across City Merge. Homebush, Centenary Drive, it's a struggle past the M4, coming off Homebush Bay Drive and the Flemington Market, heading down towards Arthur Street. Black Friday is upon us, and at Big W, you can tick the Christmas list off early with up to 50% off big brand products. Hurry, sale for 4 days only. Big W, every day is a big day. I'm Jeff Wallace on Macquarie Sports Radio 954.
Sydney weather.
Hi, I'm Drew Mitchell. If it happens in sport, you'll hear it here first. Macquarie Sports Radio. All sports, all the time.
Clear skies with light winds this evening. A poor air quality alert is in place due to some smoke haze. Showers and possible storms tomorrow, a top of 27 degrees in the city, 33 in the west. Further ahead, mostly sunny Sunday, windy on Monday. Right now in town, 22 degrees, humidity at 76%, 22 degrees in Bankstown, 21 in Campbelltown and Lucas Heights. And that's the latest Sydney weather.
Another all sports, all-time moment on Macquarie Sports Radio.
Sydney to Melbourne to Perth to Brisbane. This is the long-awaited moment. Now he has this putt for a green one. manager, and he is now officially the Wizard of Oz.
Keep listening for more all sports, all-time moments on Macquarie Sports Radio.
These undies that I'm holding are no ordinary undies. In fact, they're ovaries. Because on May 8th, World Ovarian Cancer Day, you're going to wear them over your pants. Like a true hero. 100% of the profits will go to Ovarian Cancer Australia to fight Australia's deadliest female cancer. So, start saving lives and buy your ovaries in-store or online today at Bonds or Bras and Things. It's time for Overreaction. Proudly supported by Winston with a Y.
I'm a new digital radio, and this is your old radio.
I don't miss a beat.
No, but you are missing up to 30 extra radio stations.
I've got a digital clock.
Yes, doesn't make you a digital radio. You need things like a screen displaying the song and artist, live news and weather updates, Bluetooth, and awesome digital sound quality.
I've got an alarm.
Still not digital.
Damn it.
Check out over 200 digial radios
Something like run out 3 times on the trot, for going for a single, going for a 3 and going for a 5. Mecco was he the last run out in the? I think he was in the Tide Test. I got a feeling Mecco was. That might have been the first of that sequence, or that might have been. I think it might have been part of that sequence. He might have been going for the 3 then, because it was a throw from the boundary. I reckon Joe Solomon threw that one in as well.
Last ball of the over. Mohammad Musa with a short.
Assumes interim control. He'll be in charge of Arsenal for the game at Norwich this weekend. Also, other breaking news this morning. Charlton Athletic sold by the controversial Belgian billionaire Roland Duchâtelet. I hear the figures in the region of £60 million. What next for Charlton? And will Lee Boyer, the man in charge there, be getting some of the funds? Well, they're not just there to sit on their hands. Someone in the city told me just a short time ago. So the owners looking to work hand in hand with Lee Boyer. More reaction to that later on this morning, and more calls, of course. 08717 223344 on the sacking of Unai Emery. Perry's with me, and so too, as I say, is Bob Mills. A change of gear. And a significant change of gear at this stage. Families of the Hillsborough victims have expressed their anger after the police officer in charge of the disaster was cleared of gross negligence manslaughter. David Duckenfield, he's now 75 years of age. He's been on trial accused of causing the deaths of 95 Liverpool fans who died at the 1989 FA Cup semi-final in Sheffield, the country's worst sporting disaster. The jury's majority verdict at Preston Crown Court is a setback, and a huge setback for the bereaved families who have campaigned tirelessly for justice for the last 30 years. One individual we've heard regularly speak so strongly and emotionally on many occasions is Margaret Aspinall, whose 18-year-old son James died at Hillsborough, and she spoke after the verdict.
We've achieved a great deal. We've changed an awful lot. Unfortunately, we haven't
whether
changed
it's a
the
6 or a 4. So Spinelli's replay, it has bounced about 5 centimetres inside the rope in front of the big video board alongside the scoreboard. Wow. 98 he moves to rather than 3 figures, as we say. Very good evening to Mark Taylor.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. Nice time to come in. Actually, I thought I was going to watch or witness his 100 there. It's over long off. Now, that's not as long a boundary as it used to be at the Adelaide Oval, the straight hit, but it's still a good strike. Hit it flat, and it's sort of half volleyed the rope down there, so he'll move to 98. He won't quite get to 100. But, I thought that's a nice way to bring up your second 100. Hit a 6 over mid-off at the Adelaide Oval, but he's 98.
And here's Yasir Shah again, and he's working off the toes. A misfield. This will be his 100. It bursts through the hands of the man at short mid-wicket. They're back for 2. And in the space of a week, Marnus Labuschagne with back-to-back tons, and he's absolutely elated. Saluting all parts of the ground, pumping his fist, the big embrace from his batting partner David Warner, who in the hug, Marnus Labuschagne lifts off the ground, helmet raised aloft, 100 not out, Australia won for 232.
It's been a terrific week for Marnus Labuschagne. He's a very aggressive cricketer. He's played extremely well in both knocks, and he plays cricket a lot of the time with a smile on his face. He really looks like he's enjoying the game. He certainly enjoyed his last week.
How about his score since he's taken over from Steve Smith after we dealt that blow by Jofra Archer at Lords?
Yasir Shah, and again Labuschagne defends away on the offside. 100 not out from 169 balls with 14 boundaries.
Yeah, so since being a concussion substitute for Steve Smith, Labuschagne's made 59, 74, 80, 67, 11 and 48, 14, 185 last week, and now 100 not out. It's a nice little run.
And he's now pushed his test average up to 53. It's a good run of impressive proportions as he waits for Yasir Shah again, and once more it's clipped off the toes, out through mid-wicket, and in fact it'll reach the rope. Immaculate timing again, effortless shot, just worked off the pads, out through mid-wicket, and he moves to 104 with his 15th boundary. That's one for 236.
Well, Azhar Ali hasn't done Yasir Shah any favours at all, but he should do him a favour now and take him off. I mean, he's shot at the moment. He just hasn't got any answers at all.
10.4 overs, none for 66. He bowls again, driven on the offside on this occasion by Labuschagne, and Babar Azam comes across from cover to do the fielding.
You remember the hammering David Warner gave Imran Tahir here in the Test match? He got 100 in a real hurry here. He absolutely destroyed Imran Tahir.
Yasir in again. Labuschagne plays it quietly away on the offside with an angled blade defensively to end the over. And Australia after 60 on the Finstro scoreboard, with both batsmen at the crease having posted a test century, one for 236.
Imagine you're a patient in the middle of open heart surgery and the surgeon leaves to play golf. Incomplete jobs can be heart-wrenching, so why do one when hiring? Indeed has exclusive candidates you won't find on any other job sites, and it's free to post your job on Indeed, so there's no reason not to give it a go. No search for great staff is complete without Indeed. Post jobs free on Indeed.com/post today. Terms, conditions, quality standards and usage limits apply.
One for 236, Australia. And there's going to be a change in the bowling. Mohammad Musa, 3 overs, none for 19. His third spell comes to an end. And Shaheen Shah Afridi, easily the pick of the Pakistani bowlers, back into the attack. 15 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 32. When you consider overall Australia's going at almost 4 per over, and he's 1 for 236. His figures stand out like a beacon or a lighthouse as he starts his new spell from the City or River Torrens end, a short ball which Warner sways the torso out of the way of, and it slides harmlessly through to Mohammad Rizwan.
Yeah, and the worry for Pakistan is not just obviously what's going on at the moment. The scoring rate, as you say, Bruce, is up to 4 and over, but it's about tomorrow now as well. These two are batting beautifully, a partnership of well over 200, and looking set for tomorrow, and a big day tomorrow.
Freddie in again. Warner lashes away at this, and he'll pick up another boundary to third man. He threw everything at that with only a slip and a gully. Big top edge, races down to the rope for 4.
Yeah, he was almost backing away. That was almost a one-day shot from David Warner. That backed away a bit and just slashed at the ball. Wasn't quite where he intended it, but races away for 4. Yeah, but the worry now is tomorrow, is that Australia are now absolutely bossing this game. So they'll have the opportunity tomorrow, if they wish, to bat well into tomorrow's play. Obviously, depending on what happens in the next, say, 50 minutes out here, but you can't see Australia collapsing from this position, and then they can bat tomorrow and maybe have a bowl tomorrow night with a brand new ball under lights.
Freddie in again. Warner drives but picks out the man at cover in Yasir Shah, and there's no run.
Maybe have a bowl tomorrow night under lights. That'll be a certainty. There's 2 certainties. Australia will be bowling tomorrow night under lights, and Pakistan will lose the test by a heavy margin.
Well, there's a bit of rain predicted. That's about the only thing. But that, in a way, mightn't be Pakistan's friend either, because that will maybe just hasten any decision that Tim Paine may want to make about a decision tomorrow night.
Afridi again, and Warner takes it off his pads just behind square. They run the first quickly. They're going to come back on the second. A good throw. Might have been interesting, but it bounced awkwardly for Mohammad Rizwan. It was Imam-ul-Haq doing the fielding out at deep backward square, and they get back for 2, 1 for 242. Tomorrow is the best forecast of the 5 days. I think Tuesday, actually, if we get to a day 5, but partly cloudy and about 19 or 20 tomorrow. No rain around. So full day's play, and with a platform now, we were talking earlier off air that Australia might reach 250, 260 by stumps tonight. Well, there's still 12 overs after this one to be bowled, and they're 242. Afridi in again. Warner forging defensively back down the pitch.
Plus they've got the extra half hour in the morning not early afternoon. They'll be starting 1:30
local.
Yeah, so there's another half hour of batting in the daylight.
The only thing I'd add, just looking at this pitch, there's no doubt when we got here today, it looked browner than I'd seen any of the day-night pitches so far. Right? Go back to the first game here, I think, against New Zealand. Damien Hoff left about, I think it was 10 mil of grass on that first pitch, and it really zipped around.
Afridi in again, a little wider on the crease. Warner dabs away on the leg side and takes a single as it rolls out towards square leg. And that was the last ball of the over, so Warner will retain the strike. Finstro's scoreboard. Australia move to 1 for 243.
If you're suffering from bad teeth or loose dentures, the All-on-4 dental implant system may be the answer. Completed within 24 hours at the All-on-4 clinic and done while you sleep by renowned experts like Dr. Fadi Yasmin.
People who come to see me are often confused and frustrated. We can help. I hold All-on-4 consultations in Liverpool, so why not make an appointment to see me? Visit allon4.com.au. That's all-on4 with the number 4.com.au.
1 for 243, and Ian Chappell has got it right again, because there has been a change, or there is going to be a change in the bowling, and in fact the skipper is going to bring himself on for a trundle. And from memory, Azhar Ali bowls leggies as well, does he not? Or is he maybe going to bowl some little mediums?
Yeah, I think on the last tour he bowled a few leggies, and not too badly.
So he's going to come into the attack to replace Yasir Shah, who got belted in that quick spell. 2 overs, none for 22, and overall going at 6 per over. Yasir Shah, 11 overs, none for 66. So Azhar Ali bounces in, and Warner chops away at the first ball, mistimes the shot as it rolls out into the covers, and there's no run.
They're just finish off that point I was making about the pitch here. I think about game 2 here, a year later, Damien Hoff put the grass back to 8 mil in length.
Azhar Ali in, Warner smashes it out through the covers, and he'll pick up a boundary. The protection in the deep on the offsides behind point, and Azhar Ali just dropping short. That was money for old Rope. Bludgeoned through the covers for yet another boundary, 1 for 247.
Yeah, the only real hope that Pakistan are going to have is this pitch certainly hasn't done much today. Now, there's no doubt that Australia will bowl better than what we've seen from Pakistan today for the rest of the match, but there certainly hasn't been the swing or the sideways movement after this ball's got a little bit old.
Azhar gives that plenty of air, and Warner is driving, this time in the drive back down the pitch, well fielded by the Pakistani skipper.
And Marnus Labuschagne's learnt something. He dived back into his crease rather than just standing there watching the ball hit the bowler's hand and roll onto the stumps while he was standing out of the crease.
Azhar Ali in again. Warner works it off his pads. There'll be a single out to deep mid-wicket, and it's 1 for 248.
And that was against Pakistan in the UAE when he did that. That's one of the most unusual dismissals I've ever seen, because the ball was trickling, just rolling, not travelling quickly, and Marnus Labuschagne was watching it all the time, saw it hit the bowler's hand, still didn't go back in the crease.
Was that the same test match where the Pakistani pair
Yeah.
they thought the ball had reached the rope and it hadn't? Azhar again, drops short, and Labuschagne, well, he'll pick up a boundary as well. He rocked back. I didn't think he got all of it at first. It was a very straight pull shot all the way along the carpet, and Shaheen Shah Afridi dived away to his right at mid-on. He has had a bad day in the field. I'd like to see a spine-lease replay as to whether he dived over the top of that. But yet another boundary, and it brings up the Australian 251 for 252.
This is a test side against a grade side, and I'm not saying necessarily first grade.
Well, there's no doubt runs don't get much easier than right now.
Azhar again, and sliced away behind point by Labuschagne. Masood does the fielding, and there is no run. So 9 from the over, and on the Finchtrose scoreboard with 11 remaining on day one, it's 1 for 252.
Can you grieve the loss of a tooth? I'm Dr. Theo Spirakis from Bexley Dental, and in my experience, the answer is yes. Losing teeth as an adult can be hugely distressing, but there is a solution. Using the all-on-4 procedure, I can replace the missing teeth within 24 hours. You'll feel better, smile more, and eat with confidence again. It's your life, your smile. I've helped hundreds of people, and I'm confident I can help you. Book your free consultation at bexleydental.com.au.
Australia's piled on 75 runs from the last 10 overs. Exploded now to 1 for 252 late on day one. It's 10 to 10 local time. We can play through until 10:30. Afridi, he's striking Warner on the pad, the first ball of his new over, but it was clearly angled down leg. Strangled appeal from the bowler, minimal support from behind the stumps. Warner's 135, Labuschagne is 108. Partnership is worth 244. Joe Burns, the only man out, caught behind off the bowling of Afridi for 4 in the 4th over.
What was their partnership in Brisbane, this pair?
Well, they came together at, 222.
Yep.
As Afridi bowls again, and Warner cramped for room, plays it quietly out towards point, and they scamper through for a single. Their partnership was worth 129. Came together at 222, and Warner was dismissed. The score at 351. He added only the 3 runs to his overnight score.
This is 3 out of 4 century partnerships, I think, isn't it?
Yes.
For this pair.
Yeah.
Fair ratio.
I was going to say that Pakistan could hardly have met them at worst time, though. David Warner, having only made 95 runs in the Ashes series, dying to get back into some form, and he certainly has done that in a big way.
Afridi, left arm over, and Labuschagne plays a delightful shot. Just opened the face and ran it wide of gully and to the left of backward point, and it runs down to the rope away at the northwestern side of the ground. 1 for 257, and Labuschagne to 112.
Yeah, and Marnus Labuschagne coming into this summer with an excellent Ashes series after those 4 test matches when he came into the side, but didn't have 100. And he gets 100 at 185 at the Gabba, and now he just wants to kick on. You can see he wants to cement himself in the top of the order of this Australian batting lineup, and he's certainly doing that. And as I've said a number of times, he's also proving as much to himself that he is a class player and good enough to play at this level.
1 for 257. 16 boundaries now to both batsmen. Afridi round the wicket, and Labuschagne with a high front elbow defends with soft hands. The ball bounces hard into the pitch and rolls away on the offside. At dinner they were 1 for 139, so 118 runs have been added since the resumption, which was 10 past 8, quarter past 8, round. It was 12 past 8 to be precise.
Off how many overs?
It was 40 overs at the breaks at 22.4 overs. There's been 118 runs added. Bouncer from Afridi, and that might be called a wide. No, it was wide of off stump. It was very high, and Labuschagne didn't offer.
Well, if you came to the ground and the players didn't have white clothing on, but they had coloured clothing on, you're assuming they're playing a one-dayer, the way these two have batted. There's been very few balls that have actually beaten the bat, As you say, since that dinner break, there hasn't been a lot of leaves. There's been shots run down to third man, just total domination by these two at the crease over the Pakistan bowlers.
Just a slip in a gully. Afridi round the wicket, fallen, honing in an off stump. Labuschagne is forward, presenting the full face and firmly striking it to mid-off. Azhar does the fielding. He'll probably be bowling the next over. Quick unscheduled drinks break for the batsman. Finchrow scoreboard, Australia 1 for 257.
Calling all passengers flying interstate or overseas, Airport Link, Sydney's airport train, is now ready for boarding.
There's an easier way to and from the airport. Catch Airport Link, Sydney's airport train. Only 15 minutes from the city to the airport passenger terminals. Find out why over 9 million people a year beat the traffic by catching Airport Link, Sydney's airport train. Airport Link, the easy way to get to and from Sydney Airport. Start your flight on the train. Visit airportlink.com.au.
So after making 580 in their only innings at the Gabba, and bearing in mind there was a late order collapse at the Gabba, as Australia at one stage was 5 for 545. On the first day of the second test against Pakistan, they've reached 1 for 257. Change in the bowling, just the one over from Azhar, which cost him 9 runs. The skipper's whipped himself back out of the attack, and Iftikhar Ahmed with his gentle right arm off breaks. 3 overs, none for 15. He's back into the attack, bowling round the wicket to David Warner with a slip and a short cover. He gives the first delivery reasonable amount of air. Warner just prods forward and pushes out to that short cover, which looks to be Babar Azam. Asad Shafiq in its slip. Iftikhar in. Warner again brings Babar into the game by driving more firmly on this occasion to the short cover.
The definition of supreme optimism. Short cover fieldsman.
Warner settles over the blade again. Iftikhar with him. That's flatter and quicker. And Warner again's forward and just effortlessly dabbing defensively towards mid-off.
And David Warner just walking away there, just trying to reset. It's got about 30-odd minutes until stumps here.
Iftikhar darts that one in, and Warner again on the front foot, pushing back to the bowler.
And Steve Smith probably sitting in the shed kicking himself he's not batting 3 for Australia in this series, because he may well be coming in again sometime tomorrow with 400 runs on the board.
Iftikhar in again. Warner stays leg side of the delivery and plays a delicate cut out to deep point. They trot through for a comfortable single, 1 for 258. And that, you might hear that through our flex mic from the ground announcer. Partnership now of 250 between Warner and Labuschagne. Quick handshake mid-pitch, 366 deliveries. It's taken them, so what's that, 61 overs for 250.
What's the record?
Iftikhar over the wicket. Labuschagne using his feet, advancing and pushing purposefully down to long on. Takes the single and will retain the strike. Finchrow scoreboard, 9 overs remain on day 1. Australia 1 for 259.
Hurtigruten means express route, and it's the most authentic way to explore the Norwegian coast. With 126 years experience and the most modern environmentally friendly ships today, Hurtigruten specialise in truly memorable expeditions. Journey to the Northern Lights, Norwegian fjords and more on a 12-day classic round-trip voyage. All meals and lectures included, from $18.33 per person twin share. Book now and receive up to $800 on board credit. T's and C's apply. Search Hurtigruten Cruises.
1 for 259. We mightn't get through all 9 overs still scheduled to be bowled on day 1. Rain shortened day, 73 overs the revised target, as we've got 33 minutes until stumps are drawn, regardless of the number of overs that have been bowled. 64 completed, 1 for 259. Shaheen, Shah, Afridi is going to bowl the next over from this, the River Torrens or City end of the Adelaide Oval. And they continue to mess around with their field. 6-3 offside field. Finally, skipper Azhar is satisfied. He's at mid-off. And Afridi uncoils, and it's angled across the right-hander. He overstepped. So the extra takes it to 1 for 260 as Labuschagne had all the time in the world to push defensively towards mid-off. As we say, a very good evening. Sorry, Mark.
Well, you can say good evening to Darren Lehman, who's just walked in. Let him know that Marnus Labuschagne is the first Australian since Philip Hughes in 2009 to score his first 2 centuries in consecutive innings. Philip Hughes did it in Durban, I think it was, and I'm just about the youngest player, I think, to score 100 in each innings of a test match. In his second test, I think, was in that series.
Definitely, as Labuschagne is going to pick up more runs here with a late cut. They'll take one, they won't come back for the second. And Labuschagne got so close to bringing up his ton here tonight with a 6. I reckon one of those 2 innings, Phil Hughes brought up his.
I think the second innings, wasn't it? Yeah, big slog sweep.
Yep.
Paul Harris?
Off Harris, yeah. And I suppose it's great to have a stat that's got Philip Hughes, and obviously his died tragically about 5 years ago, and you'll remember that match here, Darren. You remember it better than most, but our thoughts to the Hughes family today, up there in Maxwell, I still believe, in northern New South Wales.
Freddie in again, Warner off his pads down to mid on no run.
And I drive up there a lot. My in-laws are from up around Grafton Way, and I drive up through Maxwell, and the Pacific Highway now bypasses Maxwell. You used to have to go through the town. Only a couple of years ago they moved the highway and they put a new bridge over the river there, and it's named the Philip Hughes Bridge. So my thoughts to Greg and all the family up there in Maxwell.
Beautiful family.
Our thoughts have been with all of his family and closest friends throughout the week just gone, the 5th anniversary a few days ago. As that's a low full toss from Afridi. He was going the Yorker. Warner just works it effortlessly again out towards deep cover. Fielding done out there by Imam-ul-Haq, who's done a lot of work in the deep today. And they take just a single 1 for 262. This is bordered on a disaster for Pakistan since dinner, Buff.
Well, this is bad, Bruce. This is really bad. But they did give me the highlight of my day today.
The man who's bowling at the moment.
I mean, he's bowled brilliantly, but he needs a bit of work on his fielding.
Well, the final attendance figure, it's a surprisingly good crowd given the weather. It's gone north of 30,000 here today as Afridi round the wicket. Labuschagne is forward, a hint of an inside edge as it wobbles out to short mid-wicket.
What was it?
Well, we haven't got a final figure, but the last figure around the dinner break was just over 30,000, about 30,045, which, as I said, given the weather, we've lost about 2.5 hours in time. Earlier today, there was a big gap between 4:15, 6:15 local time, where there was no play. So they've turned out in big numbers, and a lot of them out the back probably having a big drink as well, as they often do here for the very festive Adelaide Test. Afridi in once more, 2 straight, and Labuschagne works it off his legs down behind square. They take just a single as Mohammad Abbas does the fielding, and it's 1 for 263.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that crowd. There's a lot out the back. There's normally, whatever you get in the ground here, there's probably somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 out the back as such. It's a huge day out there, and tomorrow will be bigger. So they have no club cricket on a Saturday. So all the club teams from around the state come in and make a weekend of it as such. So there'll be a big crowd Saturday tomorrow, I think, more than today.
Gary Morgan's just texted the official figure as Afridi bowls again. Warner is forward. We'll have it. There it is. It's just come through now. Defending as well. Warner no run. 30,878. So that's an excellent figure on day 1 of this Adelaide Test. End of the over. Finchro's scoreboard. It is 1 for 263.
Hey, Dad. What do you know about Car City?
I think you mean Car City.
Dad.
Sorry. I know it's the largest used car complex in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah, well, their new finance team, Easyland, offers quick and easy car loans, and you do need a new set of wheels.
Yes, a convertible would be nice, or seat warmers, or a convertible with seat warmers.
Hold on. Let's go. Come on.
See every car at carcity.com.au or 591 Carlisle Avenue, Mintonbury.
1 for 263, 3 minutes past 10 on a Friday evening here in the city of Churches. Iftikhar Ahmed to continue with his off spin from the cathedral or scoreboard end monster partnership of 255 between Labuschagne and Warner. Warner 138, his 23rd test ton. Labuschagne 115, his second test ton. His first coming just a week ago at the Gabba.
Yeah, and top marks to these two, Warner and Labuschagne. Now, we've been critical of Pakistan. They haven't been very good. There's no doubt about that.
Iftikhar over the wicket, and Labuschagne picks up a single, just punching down a line.
But what these two have done is play really intelligent, intense test cricket. That they've looked for ones all the time. They've hit the bad ball away. Pakistan weren't too bad in the first session. 1 for 70 at the first break off 22 overs. Wasn't that bad. But since then, these two have just kept up the intensity, put every bowler and every fieldsman under pressure for as many balls as they possibly can.
Iftikhar round the wicket, Warner back into his stumps, tickles it around the corner towards square leg, and they take another single.
And no greater example than this over so far. Just singles every ball, just working the field, no big stupid shots, not throwing the wickets away. And they've just put so much more pressure on the Pakistan bowlers and fieldsmen than the Pakistan players were able to put on the two batsmen out there, and that's been the big difference in the game.
1 for 265. Iftikhar once more, and Labuschagne lashes this down to long off. Had to reach a long way outside off stump to get to that. Another single.
Well, they scored 139 in that 40-over period before, that sort of longer break. And they only had 33 overs to bowl, and they're almost up to that. They're motoring along in this session.
127 added since dinner. Yes. Iftikhar round the wicket. Warner just pokes it out into the covers. There really shouldn't have been a single there, but again,
they're just beaten into submission. That's what it is. You look at the cricket now, and if you came to the ground, it'd be very easy to be critical of Pakistan because they've lost their energy, the energy they had early on. But they've been beaten into it by these two Australian batsmen. That they've just knocked them around. Everything they've done, they've been repelled. Here's a little back cut from Labuschagne. He'll probably get one, think about two, but doesn't come. But they've just put the pressure on Pakistan everywhere, and eventually they've just worn them down. And now Pakistan, they're waiting for 10:30. That's all Pakistan are trying to do now. Well, get to 10:30.
This is the time to be bowling, and they're going at 4 and over. In a day-night test match, 4 and over, that's unheard of. Well, it hasn't been done before. So maybe the wicket's better. Again, we'll have to wait to see how Pakistan perform with the bat. But, wow.
Between 6 and 7 and over for the last 10 overs. They had the picket fence going, 5 singles and then a dot from the last ball as David Warner leans defensively on this and pushes out towards cover. End of the over. Change in the commentary. Darren Berry to join you to take you through until stumps. Finchgrove scoreboard, Australia 1 for 268.
Things are about to get intense at Dave's workshop. He went to bizcover.com.au and saw how much he could be saving on his public liability insurance. So now he's getting his old policy out of his system. BizCover are Australia's small business insurance specialists, giving tradies like Dave multiple quotes from top insurers. No nasty paperwork, just hassle-free insurance online. Don't pay too much for your business insurance. Head to bizcover.com.au to compare, insure and save.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Change in commentary. Darren Berry taking over from Bruce Eva for the remaining period of this, first day's play in the Domain Test Series. Darren Lehman and Mark Taylor alongside me, and it has been a day-night absolutely dominated by the Australian cricket team. There's no easy way around it. Pakistan have been poor in all facets of the game. Tactics, fielding, strategy, execution. Apart from Shaheen Afridi's bowling, his fielding's been comical at times. Buffs enjoyed that, but they have had a very poor day and night. Yasir Shah, the leg spinner now from the river end. In and he bowls. Beautifully played into the offside. Labuschagne for a single to mid-off, taking the score along to 269.
Well, if you're a batter, these two 100, they've got spin on at both ends at 10:07 at night, 23 minutes to go. You'd be saying we need quicks just to get 2 wickets somehow to give us a kick before the end, because they're scoring so freely, and at night that's a real worry for the team.
In again, leg side, maybe a stumping chance there. Wouldn't mind a look at the spinal ease replay. It just snuck down the leg side. Mohammad Rizwan couldn't take the ball, and we've got the spinal ease replay now. The question is, did David Warner, he did shuffle his feet out, and I think that's a stumping chance. No, he shuffled the feet, but he kept that back foot behind the crease line, so no chance. This time he forward in defence, works it to the leg side.
Yeah, it's just a disaster day because you think they've got an extra hour tomorrow. Oh. So they play 2.5 hours, and then it'll be 2.5 hours so they won't get their over rates in. So she's a long day tomorrow, but 80 overs before the light takes effect.
Yasir, and again, Warner's getting bored. He's gone for a sweep shot, a big appeal. The first one we've heard for a long time. They're going to contemplate going upstairs. They haven't been up there all day. 10 seconds on the DRS timer. I reckon there might be a desperate plea upstairs here, Mark Taylor, and there it is.
Yeah. Interestingly, the umpire didn't signal leg byes or not before they actually decide whether they wanted to have a review or not.
Well, for the first time tonight, we're going upstairs. The LBW appeal on David Warner. It was a board shot, and he tried to sweep Yasir Shah, the leg spinner. You can hear the voice of third umpire Richard Kettleborough, and he smashed it. I don't think we're going to need to see leg side. Mark Taylor, you've called it.
Yeah, well, it was interesting. I was watching the umpire very closely. He didn't signal leg byes. Now, I don't know what the protocol is about, whether he's supposed to before they review or not. I don't think he is.
No, he's got to wait to the end.
He's got to wait till they review or not, and he waited, and in the end, there's still no signal leg byes because he clearly hit it.
Yeah.
So they've wasted a review there for Pakistan.
The nightmare continues, Buff. It's been a nightmare day. That was a desperate appeal, and they went upstairs, and clearly an inside edge in that sweep shot. David Warner would have known, and he would have been feeling comfortable. He survives, and now Labuschagne on strike.
Hey.
That's a beautiful delivery. Where have they been? We've seen two of them. That's all we've seen today. That spun and bounced, and that was, dare I say it, Shane Warne, like Mark Taylor, it jumped at the batsman, and it's only the second time today we've got excited by the leg spin. So the right-hander's on strike again, forward in defence, he pushes into the offside.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time he's bowled from this river end,
Correct,
which is strange in itself.
Take a break, 1 for 270.
New 2170 restaurant and bar is now open in Club Liverpool. Come and try our tasty steaks, seafood and burgers, amazing vegetarian meals, family favourites and delectable desserts. Everything is made fresh, cooked to order and absolutely delicious. At only $12.50, our lunch and dinner specials are great value. Why not book your Chrissy lunch or dinner with us? Located in the Liverpool CBD. For details, visit clubliverpool.com.au. Club Liverpool, the gem on George.
Mum, when is Thursday like Friday, Friday like Friday, Saturday like Friday, Sunday and Monday like Friday?
Is this one of your jokes?
No, I'm not being funny.
Oh, it is one of your jokes.
Mum, this is serious. When is it like Friday for 5 days?
Well, it's Black Friday at Bingley.
Yep, a huge Black Friday sale. Massive deals store-wide, TVs, cooking, laundry, all the latest tech gear.
This is serious.
I told you.
5 days of Black Friday deals at Bingley.
Australian family owned for over 60 years.
Ends Monday.
Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Iftikhar, the off-spinner, bowling here to Warner, and just easily again dabs it into the offside. Another single. They have been, Darren Lehman, excellent all day with their running. Not just the singles, they've pushed. It's easy in a situation like this to knock into the outfield and just jog through. They've run hard all day.
All day, exceptional. It's one of Justin Langner's mantras, isn't it? He wants them running it really hard, and David Warner's always been like that anyway. Marnus looks like he wants to make every run count. And it's been a brilliant partnership. Now 263 and counting very quickly, which is real trouble for Pakistan. In fact, with this field, they cannot get a wicket unless they play a very bad shot.
So Iftikhar, the part-time off-spinner, trying to get through to stumps.
I've got one for you, Chuck, which you can think about. I know the over's going quite quickly. There must be some players Pakistan are missing. You were over in the PSL for a number of years.
So another ball on leg stump. It's a square leg, no run.
Because the one that comes to mind is Shadab Khan, the leg spinner.
Yep, and bats okay
and
too.
And bats quite well. So, you know, he can sort of fill a number 7 role for you or 8 role and do both.
I know Mickey Arthur's plan was for Shadab Khan to come through. Iftikhar again, sweep shot played, single will be taken to deep square. But Yasir Shah, in fairness, is their first preferred leg spinner. And Shadab is their backup leg spinner, if you like, but developing and into an all-rounder. Very, very good fieldsman too. He's probably one of their best.
And probably that's where they look at today, the way they're fielded. They've got to start somewhere. I know you've got to have skill, obviously, but you've got to be able to catch, move. And Shadab Khan, he impressed me. But there must be some other young kids that they could... You know, I know it's pretty harsh. You've only had the 2 knocks in Brisbane, the batsman, but Babar Azam can play.
Interesting where Babar Azam bats in this innings. Another over is complete on the Biz Cover scoreboard. Australia dominant. 1 for 272.
Are low interest rates impacting on your investment returns? It's time to rethink. Rethink Investing creates wealth for clients through the strategic purchase of positively geared, high cash flow commercial property. Industrial properties, retail assets, or office spaces can be a smart investment option that produces significant and long-term return on investment. Rethink your investment options and look to commercial property. Learn more at rethinkinvesting.com.au. Rethink Investing, Australia's #1 commercial buyers agency.
Tubbs going to then jump and do... Welcome back to the Adelaide Oval. Thank you, Buffer. I was just chatting off air to Bruce Eva, who's producing and pushing buttons and commentating, and he's going to cook us dinner as well a bit later on. He's doing a lot, Pete, at the moment. And having a giggle. He's actually looking up the St Kilda draft picks, I think, at the moment. That's the other job that he's got. He's the list manager at the St Kilda Footy Club.
Who is the list manager at your rubbish mob?
Hey, don't be like that.
Rubbish mob, eh?
Sort of. It's getting late in the evenings, 10:15 in Adelaide, so that makes it 10:45 in our hometown, Beaver, in Melbourne town and in Sydney. So it's a late night at the Adelaide Oval. It's been a night that's been dominated by David Warner and Marnus Labuschagne. Leg spinner is in again and easy runs. He squirts now into the leg side. They scampering back for 2. Run out chance. Shocking fielding. And again, late in the night when a chance was there, it was a poor decision to come back for 2. And Labuschagne was done and dusted, and the throw was horrible from Imam-ul-Haq.
Only had to be just half close there. Suicide run, and really even the first slip that got to the stumps, he could have made more of an effort to actually get it and try and flick it onto the stumps.
That's put an exclamation mark on a horrible day for Pakistan.
That was very, very poor. I don't know about that. That should have been. Now, the only thing that should have stopped the run out there was if the first slip, I think it's Asad Shafiq there, I think, if he fumbled the ball. But he never actually got the ball behind the stumps.
Didn't get it in his hands, and another opportunity for Pakistan goes begging. Wouldn't they have loved that to bring Stephen Smith, or would a night watchman, would Nathan Lyon have the pads on this late at night? It's 5 overs to go.
Well, there's 14 minutes left, isn't there, really?
Again, down the ball was pitched down leg, and Labuschagne went to work it through leg. He may have got the leading edge. It actually went out to the offside to point, and again, men in the deep, only a single.
Just shows you that the last couple of overs from Yasir Shah, from the first time he's bowled from this river or city end of the ground, has actually spun, done a bit. It's not an absolute road out there. It's got less grass on it, this pitch, than I've seen other day-night test matches here. But it certainly won't be a road when Australia come to bowl on it, probably this time tomorrow night, with a brand new Kookaburra peak ball.
Won't be. And before when I was saying about Shadab Khan, I mean, there's no reason 2 leg spinners couldn't play. Yasir Shah's record's very good, but they've got to find a way somehow to get some excitement into their team.
And some wickets. They desperately need one. They missed a run-out opportunity. Warner goes down to sweep. It's getting tough to see even from our long way away. It's a beautiful shot. It beats the man in the deep and races away for another boundary as Warner charges towards his 150 late in the evening here, day 1. Australia versus Pakistan, but it's been been one-way traffic.
Well, it has 279 on the board now. Still got sort of 4 overs. They won't get them all in probably. They may do with 2 spinners, but 280. They're going to be 290, almost 300 at stumps day 1 down. 80 overs, 3 and over at worst. That's 550 with batting under lights. Wow.
It doesn't get much worse. This one's full. Warner just leans on it and he smacks it through the gap between cover and mid-off. Mark Taylor, that is 150 for David Warner on the back of 154 at the Gabba.
Well, I was just thinking that the previous delivery, which he hit the sweep shot, you don't see David Warner sweep very often. So then Yasir Shah throws it wide of off stump, and Warner in that sort of compact, punchy way to hit some of those extra cover drives just finds the gap again and races to back-to-back 150s in test matches.
Outstanding, David Warner, simply outstanding. And a lot to be said for his partner at the other end. This has been a magnificent partnership. If we looked up the record books for partnership records, another sweep shot. This time it was a short ball. He went down on one knee and he slapped it to backward square. They'll be happy with the single, and that completes the 69th over, and the score is 1 for 284. More than 9 million people a year catch Airport Link, Sydney's airport train, and you know why? Because it's a fantastic way to connect to and from the city. Sydney's airport train runs from 5 a.m. to midnight every 7 to 8 minutes during the week. It's right underneath Sydney's domestic terminal for easy access, and it'll take you directly to the CBD in 20 minutes. And if you're a Sydney, just jump on any train in the Sydney network, including the new Metro train, and change at Central Station Platform 23. You'll have access to the airport line, which stops at both domestic and international terminals. So if you're one of the thousands of people using Sydney Airport today or tomorrow, make sure you catch Airport Link, Sydney's airport train. It's a great service. For further details, visit airportlink.com.au. Iftikhar continues. Dot ball off the first one.
Very well done, Darren. Squeeze that in. They're trying to get through the rover zone. They had to squeeze it then.
They're trying to squeeze here. Yep, fantastic. From the Sydney terminal. Don't miss out on that. Just like these two batsmen haven't missed out today and tonight. Gee, just when these Pakistan players go off and they look up at the scoreboard, it's going to be 1 for 300. Ouch. We've got to come back and do it again tomorrow. There's only one in the shed. Can they break late and a wicket? Iftikhar outside off stump. They missed a chance. With a run-out chance with a poor throw. Imam-ul-Haq was the fielder and threw it in. So Shafiq at first slip didn't get hold of it, and Labuschagne was given a chance. Iftikhar again. Well, that finds the outside half of the bat. It beats slip. It beats the diving man at backward point. And I shouldn't laugh because it's a painful experience out there at the moment. They get 2.
Yeah, a little bit of spin there, which is good signs, as Mark Taylor said, for someone like Nathan Lyon, who I think will play a big part in this game.
Well, he likes bowling at the Adelaide Oval, Nathan. He started obviously here, being a boy from country New South Wales, went back home to Sydney, but he does like bowling at the Adelaide Oval. Iftikhar, the part-time offie. Warner just eases it into the leg side for another easy single.
You know, the other worry too is that now this will be 70 overs after this, so there's only 10 more to the new ball, but it'll be tomorrow afternoon at about probably 2 o'clock, best time to bat, and that's when they'll have the new ball due.
Yeah, nothing's gone right for the Pakistan team today, starting with the toss, although maybe that was wrong as well because their captain said I would have bowled. He might be rethinking that decision right now. And on leg stump, and another over complete. 1 for 287.
Yes, and if your summer strategy involves fans and too many trips to the fridge, you need whole home comfort. And I can tell you right now, Fujitsu Air Conditioning has you covered right across the board there. Fujitsu's multi-systems can connect up to 6 indoor units to 1 compact outdoor unit. Each indoor unit is individually controlled, so you get more flexible comfort indoors while saving plenty of space outdoors. Fujitsu has a wide range of units to choose from, so there's a solution for just about every home. And right
right now, when you buy a Fujitsu multi or ducted system, you'll receive a $500 prepaid Visa card. So don't sweat it out this summer. Just get a Fujitsu like I have. It's Australia's favourite air. You've got to purchase by December 20, claim by January 31. T's and C's and exclusions apply. See online for details and eligible models. This summer, get whole home comfort with the mighty Fujitsu Air Conditioning Company, proud partner of Macquarie Sports Radio's Summer of Cricket. Beautifully done, Mark Taylor. And first time I've done that, you know. No, it sounds like it. It sounds like you haven't done that before. So I reckon the Pakistan players might need a bit of Fujitsu air in their dressing rooms when they get off. It'll be hot and steamy and a frustrated affair. Get you to just have a chat about that score. But Yasir Shah, sweep shot again, smacks it into the gap. David Warner did well fielded in the deep. The man that was patrolling deep backward square has made it a lovely diving save, so they only get 2. I was just looking up there, Darren. I don't know whether you spotted it. I think it is a second wicket record at the Adelaide Oval between these two.
Who they broke? Was it Lindsay Hassett up there?
Lindsay Hassett and Colin McDonald, I think it was, back in 53 against South Africa. So that's a long-standing record that's gone here tonight.
We're probably going to get someone else soon, I would think.
Oh, yes.
Who's that?
I've just got one set through here. Yes, he's Shah. Tubby's been right on the stats today. Single to Warner. What have you got for us, Mark Taylor? Australia's highest second wicket partnership against Pakistan, 279 from the Australian coach and yours truly, Peshawar in 1998. We put on 279.
What?
Yeah. Mark Taylor, Justin Langer.
Justin Langer.
Yeah. And what's the Brett Graham who's sending me these stats? He says, "Come on, Marnus and Dave."
Oh, that's nice.
He's willing them on. He's barracking. Come on, Yasir. Rip a glove off, you know. So that's added a little bit of spice. Mark Taylor now barracking for the wicket. No, too late. They've got it. Oh, they've got it already. So that's gone, and Labuschagne takes another single into the league side. So
records are meant to be broken.
They've got a bit of work to do. I think 451's the record for Australia. Podsford and Bradman. Yeah, that's against England. So they've got another 180 odd to get. And I don't want to joke about it. They could get it. There's a chance. They could get it tomorrow. Yasir Shah is in again, and the runs are just coming at ease. There's men in the deep. Warner flicks to the leg side, deep backward square. Another single to him.
Well, just think about this. I mean, 80 overs tomorrow before. You don't get a better time to bat with a new ball during the day in the first session. They'll play shots, 3, 4 and over. They're going to be 550 by tea, aren't they? Well before tea. You know, you're talking Pakistan could bat pretty much under lights or late twilight under lights.
Shah in again. It spins, but Labuschagne plays it on the back foot and knocks it into the leg side, and runs are coming at ease, so wherever they like.
They could literally be 550, 600 with half a day to go tomorrow. So they'll bowl twilight, won't they? Yep. And then they'll bowl dusk, which is dangerous with a new ball because it's hard to sort of pick up if it's a sunny day. Then they get the nighttime play as well. You know, Pakistan could be, because they're scoring so quickly. It's 4 and over.
Shah has had no impact. A couple of balls have spun, but not too many. And again, Warner turns this one to the leg side and gets another easy single to complete another over on the Biz Cover scoreboard. 1 for 294.
I'm Iftikhar. Queensland's opposition wants to know how the Palaszczuk government will pay the compensation to those affected by the 2011 floods. It comes after the New South Wales Supreme Court ruled in favour of the victims, finding the state government, Sunwater and SEQ Water were negligent. Deputy Opposition Leader Tim Mander says Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk needs to apologise for how the government handled the disaster.
Well, the compensation could be massive, in the tens of millions of dollars. And Anastasia Palaszczuk needs to explain how her government will pay for that.
A Victorian teenager has been accused of raping a teenager on the Gold Coast at schoolies and filming her. The 18-year-old's been bailed to go home to live with his family. The matter will return to court in February. A body has been found in a West Australian National Park area near Albany, where a man and woman were reported missing on Tuesday. The 22-year-old woman and 20-year-old man left for a camping trip on the weekend. A large-scale search was conducted after they failed to return. The body found today is yet to be formally identified. The opposition is rejecting claims the failure to pass the Ensuring Integrity Bill will embolden the union movement. The federal government was stunned after One Nation joined Labor to vote against the legislation. Business groups say the decision gives a green light to union thuggery on work sites, but Labor leader Anthony Albanese says that's wrong.
Union thuggery is outlawed now. Okay. It's called a crime.
All right.
It's called the Crimes Act. If someone commits an act of violence, they can be charged.
Okay, well,
you know it, and I know it.
The Independent Commission Against Corruption has completed its report into South Australia Health, and ICAC Chief Bruce Lander has presented the findings to the Attorney General. When it will be tabled is still unclear. It was undertaken after Mr Lander raised concerns about possible maladministration. Also making news, an Australian grandmother is spending her first night home after she was cleared by Malaysia's highest court of drug trafficking charges and escaped the death penalty. The father of GWS Giants player Toby Green has been sentenced to 9 months jail for assaulting a police officer after the grand final at the MCG. And 5 famous jelly babies removed from Cannes Centre of Contemporary Arts during major refurbishments will not be returning to their homes. Turning to sport, play has been extended on the opening day of the second test between Australia and Pakistan, and Abbas and John Sutton all retired last season. Melbourne Victories defeated the...
we said it in the Gabba, I know we don't want to harp on it too much, but keep the field up because Adelaide Oval, pink ball, it doesn't fly off the bat. You know, you can actually squeeze and stop them scoring by keeping the field up, and they haven't done that again today.
We can only call as we see, Darren, and that's what we are witnessing here. Some interesting tactics and field placements. You'll have a Shane Ford in defence. He's got stumps.
Talk sport with Football Index, the football stock market. What's your football knowledge worth? Sign up today at footballindex.co.uk. 18 plus, please gamble responsibly.
All sports, all the time. Macquarie Sports Radio is your home.
This is TalkSport. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Normal service will be resumed as soon as
taking
possible.
some refreshments with just one over to go.
Ray will know that with that accent, which hasn't changed despite many, many years near the Caledonian Road.
1 minute left in the day's play.
You're not Irish by birth. Well, it must have been a big decision for you. Why did you decide to play for the Republic?
Well, it was a huge decision, Danny. I mean, at age of 17,
just to make things a little more confusing, Mark, with one over to go, what do you think the Pakistan captain's done?
You'd say
bowling change.
Andy
Roberts, the young boy went Musa,
just a blazer,
just so they can tear a hamstring. Just cap off a terrific day.
You haven't bowled for an hour, but I'll give you one over.
To be honest with you,
at 10:30 at night to see if you can break through. Let's say for the game's sake he does, but it is
and we went to Largs, that's where the training camp was, and
so the last over
use Anglos go over there. That's
still going on.
Well, it was then. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm only going to say how I remember.
Two slips in a galley. Musa's in. He bowls it short as he has most of the day, and Warner lets it pass.
Well, that's why the people came out to give their helmets.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. I do withdraw a few of those comments. I don't know why they needed a drink, but they must have run some helmets out there, because I think David Warner was batting in a cap prior to that.
But this sums up Pakistan's day. Young kid, hasn't bowled for an hour, comes on to bowl 6 important balls to the side. They've been just mucking around really for an hour with the spinners. And Yasir Shah had that review, which was very desperate. And then they give the young kid another over now. It's just been a strange day.
None for 66, the young man. He's a fine young man, but it hasn't been a day that he'll want to remember. He's in again, full ball, smacked into the offside. In fact, it's smacked behind point, and David Warner just goes on his merry way. 165 Warner moves to, and the score goes past 300. It's 1 for 301. Australia are dominating.
Well, width there, and it's very hard for the young man. I'll defend him here. It's very hard to bowl that one over where you want to try and make him play. But 300 runs in a day, 73rd over. Stats thanks to Bingle. It's just been it's been a great day for Australia.
Yes.
We don't praise them enough, probably. We've been ultra critical of Pakistan at stages, but David Warner's been brilliant. Marnus Labuschagne again, excellent. They've just dominated the game, put Australia in a really commanding position.
Warner on strike now, again around the wicket. This time it's wide of off stump, barely carries through. So he changed his angle from over to around, and we have 3 balls remaining. We'll wrap things up pretty quickly here because breakfast will be served very shortly, and we'll go to Talk Sport, and we'll be back tomorrow with you on air from 1 p.m. An early start tomorrow for our listeners, 1:30 kickoff, both tomorrow and Sunday to make up for the lost time today. But Macquarie Sports back with you from 1 p.m. local time here at the Adelaide Oval. Still 3 balls remaining. Musa is around the wicket to Warner. He's full. Warner pushes into the offside. He takes a single. They've been good all day. Be easy just to take that and stay on strike. No, he takes the single and he gives Marnus the last 2 balls.
And back-to-back test matches for David Warner to bat through the day. And that's a good effort in itself. Probably a little bit easier here because they've had a big break with rain here, and only 73 overs will be bowled in the day, but you still got to concentrate through a long period of time, and he did it at the Gabba when it was hot. No breaks there, and he's come out here in a day-night test match and actually scored more. He's 166 at the moment. I think he was 151, I think
yeah,
Gabba or something like that.
2 balls remaining. Musa in, right arm, on line, no runs, says